Good morning and welcome to the Carter's Tyre Service South Island Endurance Series. We're live here from Mike Pero Motorsport Park, Ruapuna in sunny Christchurch. Well, it will be sunny soon. First up, we have to thank our main sponsor that's helped make this happen, which is the Heart of Racing. So basically this whole broadcast today is brought to you by the Heart of Racing. They really want to lift the profile of what's going on with endurance racing in New Zealand. So Gabe, I know you're watching, so thanks so much for getting in behind us and helping bring this out to the world. So I'm here with Kate Patton. Kate is the series organiser, and so she's got all the details on who's running and what's happening during the day. So good morning, Kate. Looks like it's a pretty amazing field we've got out here today.
Yeah, it's our biggest field for sure so far. We've got 43 cars in the 1 hour and we've got 26 cars in the 3 hour. Biggest field so far this season, and I think biggest from last year as well.
And so obviously there was testing yesterday and we had a look at some times, and you know it was pretty quick, right? So people have been out this morning as well. There's been just the one qualifying for the 3 hours gone out. What are the times looking like? Sort of, we'll talk about the 1 hour first and then the 3 hour.
So I think yesterday, obviously test session for the 1 hour, they haven't been out this morning. The times, I think Marco was the quickest. I think you said, what was the time he did yesterday that you were talking about?
Yeah, Marco did a 1 minute 26 dead, I saw, which is pretty quick for that class.
Yeah, and I think it was, the next up was, I think, 0.4 of a second slower of the Collins Mustang. So it's great to see that the Collins Mustang has a bit of competition this round, because they did have no competition last round.
Well, not no competition. There's a whole lot of Porsches out there.
Yeah, well, and now there's a Porsche's looking to take the podium place away from them.
So yeah, that 1 hour, I mean, it's a massive field. What are we going to see through the classes in that, do you think?
Again, we've got, I think, 13 cars in the Class A. There's going to be another battle again. I think there was 16 at Tiratonga, so that's probably the biggest competition for the 1 hour race. And then we've got Class B. Again, we've got Jordan Mickles, who's looking to defend his Class B championship honours. Class C, obviously the Collins Mustang's a Class C car. And then we've got Class D, which is where all the Porsches are going to be battling away.
So just to make that clear, basically the classes are separated by CC rating. So the Class A cars are up to 2 litre, and you've got a special friend in the Class A, have you?
Yes, I do have a special friend in the 1 hour, in the Class A, sorry. And there's many Andrews and there's many Civics, but yeah.
Would that be embarrassing to...
Thank you, nothing like that on live stream, but I appreciate that.
I had to do it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's going to be a lot of battles going through the pack, and one of the things with the 1 hour that's really exciting is it's basically a sprint race, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's an endurance race, but 1 hour, it's just 1 hour full of action the whole time, you know, drivers generally do. If they're 2 driver teams, it's half an hour each, so yeah, it is a sprint race, really.
And what you'll see is basically they have to make a stop, they have to run around the car, and that stop can happen between 10 minutes and 50 minutes. But what generally happens is a lot of the drivers just keep... There's a safety car, because they're allowed to stop under safety car. So if there's a safety car, it's generally pretty chaotic in the pits, right?
Absolutely, and a lot of people push it to the very limit for tyres and fuel, and we see that throughout both the 1 and the 3 hour fields of people pushing it right to the very limit. I mean, we saw last round people running out of fuel right on the at the pit start line, you know, because people are just saying, how far can I go until there's a safety car?
And so the other thing that, you know, obviously strategy is a big game in the endurance. So we've talked a little bit about the 1 hour, and the 1 hour is going to start at what time?
11:15 is the 1 hour start time.
So we're going to be live right through then, and then what we're going to do is after the 1 hour we'll take a break, and the 3 hour starts at
1:15.
Great. So basically, if you tune in at those times, but we'll be live right through the morning now.
Okay, welcome to the South Island Endurance, the Carter's South Island Endurance Series, round 2. We're at Ruapuna. We've just lost the signal down in the pits there, but welcome to wherever you are around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're tuning in for an exciting day of endurance racing from beautiful Christchurch in the South Island of New Zealand. I'm Victor Catamol, and I'm going to be commentating for you today. And I've got with me Chris Dunn from. What's your role, Chris?
I don't know what my role is, Victor. I've looked after the South Island Endurance Series for probably the last 15 years. Have handed it over to Kate, who we've just seen talking with Adam there. So, yeah, still involved in the series. I'm going to be in race control during the day, but happy to come down and help and watch for some really exciting qualifying. So.
Well, we haven't streamed it live, but we've seen the gauntlet laid down this morning, pretty much, haven't we? We're looking at the lap record now. The race lap record last year, 6:54, which is pretty quick in a tin top car around this track. This morning we were fizzing here because Alex, I think it was out there and did a 1:18.6, so 1 second faster than the lap record. And this is the first qualifying. And then he does a 1:18.2. And I was looking in the Foster Reed cars sitting in the pits. And I'm thinking, what are they doing? Yeah, they've been out and done a bit of an initiation lap at 1:22. Comes out pretty much 1:18 flat. Unbelievable.
Absolutely, yeah. It was really, really exciting. Those cars are just so fast this year. And in that first qualifying session, 3 cars under the existing lap record. Like, that is great stuff. It's going to be an absolutely buster race this afternoon.
Yep, it's going to be brilliant. If you're in the area or within probably about 200 kilometres, it's worth the drive to Christchurch. We're just going to go back down to the pits now. I think we've got Adam and Kate back again. And there's Adam.
Someone put a sign in front of our wireless link, so that cut the link. But anyway, we were talking about the 3-hour race, which is about to go out for second qualifying now.
Can I correct you? It's actually the 1 hours that are about to go for the qualifying.
Oh, sorry. The 1 hour's about to go for the qualifying. I thought the 1 hour had just been. So there we go. The 3 hours going for the qualifying. And we generally... 1 hour's going for the qualifying. Who should we be looking at in that?
I think it'll be pretty close between Marco and the Collins Mustang for the 1 hour qualifying.
And for the first round, the other Porsches that were pretty quick were Martin Dipper, yeah? And who was in third?
Oh gosh, I can't remember who the third place was. I mean, we've got Danny Whiting, we've got Russell McKenzie and the Porsches. They're all really quick guys.
Father and son combination.
Oh, the Derricks. Goodness, the Timaru Derricks. How dare I forget them? Who ran out of fuel yesterday. They don't like me reminding them about that, but...
Cool. And so how long do they get for qualifying?
Half an hour sessions this weekend.
So basically they'll go out and try and put some greens on and go early, do you think? Or how will the strategies work for that?
You kind of see the start of it really busy and then you see the end of it really busy. They sort of play the middle of, just kind of timing it of when there's no cars on track. They'll try and go out and put those times on.
Great. So, and then after that half hour, we will have the 3 hour qualifying. Sorry about that, I had it wrong. But at the 3 hour qualifying, that second one that's going to go out, generally the pros are out in that and they're the ones trying to set that pole position, right?
Yeah, they let the morning session, the first session, just be more of a scrub session, get the cars ready to go for the day, and then the second session is where the fast guys hop in and try and set those qualifying times.
And we've had some amazing times in that 3 hour race so far because the field is incredible. So talk us through the front of the field in this 3 hour race.
I think I saw in the first qualifying session the harder racing team, the Alex Riberas, Darren Kelly team, set a 19.6. And that's definitely the fastest time today. And then I think second was a 19.8. I can't even think who set that. And then it's pretty much low 20s for most of the GT3 cars. They're all so close to each other. We've obviously got a pretty cool pairing in our Tyres team. Greg Murphy's hopped in with Dwayne Carter, so that's an awesome combination. The Hammer team, they've had a driver swap. Simon's out. Unfortunately, he's not feeling very well, and Nick Ross is doing both the 1 hour and the 3 hour, so he's hopped in there, so that's going to be a fast car. I just really hope those guys can keep it reliable and actually get a finish this time because they really deserve it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard for them because they came out, they fixed the car from last time. They were running pretty well yesterday, and then it turns out Simon's had food poisoning, so he's had to pull out, right?
Yeah, he sort of he said that's what happens when the wife goes away and leaves him to fend for himself. He eats stuff in the pantry that he definitely shouldn't have touched, but But he's still here and he's feeling okay, but it does mean Nick Ross gets the awesome opportunity to top into that beast.
So yeah, that's the John McIntyre, Gilbertson Camaro, which if you spin around, Joe, you'll just see them refueling that now. And so the other thing we saw yesterday was Johnny Reid went out and went under the lap record significantly. The lap record here is 1 minute 19.6. He did a 1 minute 19.3. And they don't really generally try and set lap records on practice day, right?
No, and yesterday it was super hot as well, so it wasn't even great conditions to set those fast times. Right now it's a bit of a cool breeze here, so I'm imagining the next qualifying session is going to be super fast for those reasons.
Okay, well we're just going on track now, so we've got Victor Catamol in our outdoor broadcast unit, which has been brought to you by Solar Solutions, and we'll cut over to him.
Righto, here we are back. The 1 hour cars head out onto the track for their one and only qualifying session.
So we've got half an hour of qualifying. Now there's 4 classes running in the 1 hour. Can you maybe explain, just while they're going out, a little bit about the 1 hour class structure? Because it changed a couple of years ago, didn't it?
Yep, so we run 5 classes overall in the series, but the top class, we call it Class E in the South Island, those cars aren't eligible to run in the 1 hour race. So that's the GT3 cars, the SLS Mercedes, the Audi R8s and those type of things.
Yep.
We keep them out of the 1 hour race. We try and keep it like an more amateur series.
Fantastic.
So we run 4 classes. The first 3 are pretty straightforward. They're purely just capacity based, so it's 0 to 2 litre, and in that one you'll see a great battle here between all the Honda Civics and Integras and bits and pieces like that. We run Class B, which is 2 litre up to 3.5 litre, and in that class it's basically the 2 litre turbo cars. There's a lot of the TCR cars and bits and pieces in there, and then our third class is Class C, 3,501cc and over. So that's basically for the home-built hot rods. You'll see the on screen now is the RX-8 V8 of Grant Williams, bits and pieces like that in there. And then we have what we call Class D, which is basically for our factory-built race cars. So in the Class D, you'll see all of the Porsche Cup cars. You'll see the McLaren that we see on screen right now. And a few other bits and pieces like that. There's also the Ginetta, there's a space-framed Chevy Cruze V8 and a few bits and pieces like that. So the Class D is really for the factory-built or the purpose-built cars. The other classes are cars that were built as road cars, and guys have created weapons from there.
Right, fantastic. And so there's a rule around the turbocharge or supercharge as well, isn't there? There's some mathematics or something.
Yes, there is. It's a standard Motorsport New Zealand rule. If your car is turbocharged or supercharged, it's times 1.7. So that's where, like, if you run a 2 litre car with a turbocharger on it, it still falls into that Class B under 3.5 litre class.
Okay, great. And that's the same in the 3 hour race?
Exactly the same. Yeah, exactly the same class structures, exactly the same way that it works in the 3 hour, except we have the next class up, which we call Class E, which is for the GT3 spec cars, or the cars that have been GT3s and modified, such as the McIntyre, Gilbertson, Camaro.
Right. So the previous Ruapuna lap record was in 2015, and that was Hugh Gardner in his Porsche 997, which was a GT3 car, which qualified at that time but wouldn't qualify now. Is that correct?
No. The Porsche call them GT3 Cup cars.
Okay.
Which is a bit of it's a bit of an anomaly, really, because they're not FIA GT3 cars.
Right.
Oh, so it looks like we've gone red out here now.
Oh, so we've got an issue somewhere. Let's have a look what's
Recovery
on track.
team's heading out. So yeah, Hugh's car is still eligible to run in the race.
Right. Okay.
He's obviously moved on to the muscle
cars.
cars. Yeah.
So okay. So but the lap record for the 1 hour was a 1:24.4. So a few seconds slower. Well, previously 4 or 5 seconds slower.
Yes.
Now Now the home straight slower. But we'll see what happens today as well. So because there's some pretty trick machinery out there. I mean, we're looking down the pits and you're seeing two McLarens and a Porsche coming into the pits. Because
but the cool thing about it is that behind those two beautiful McLarens and that Porsche is that RX-8 V8 that Grant's built at home in his shed by himself, and that is one of the absolutely cool things that I love about this series.
So, and that's something I wanted to talk to you about, is what we love about this series. We might be going down to Adam in a minute. I'm just going to check. No, we're not. He's just down there being nosy. Okay, so the really great thing about this series is what, Chris?
Is just the amount of cars that come and compete, and the open rules that we run, so that we don't care if you're running those tyres or those tyres. We don't care if you've got a big V8 engine in your car or a little 2-litre engine or whatever it is. Our rules are really, really open, and we just want everybody to come and play. And that's like, if you look at the lineup of those cars, there's everything there from those GT4 spec McLarens through to the likes of the Collins Mustang that they've built at home with a NASCAR engine, down to the wee Civics and Starlets, and absolutely everything in between. And that is one of the things that makes this really good for competitors and also for spectators, because where else can you come and see those type of cars? There's no more Porsche Porsche GT3 Cup Series in New Zealand. There's no GT4 series in New Zealand. There's no TCR series in New Zealand, whereas we've got all of those cars coming and racing with us and mixing it up.
Okay, looks like the track is open again. We've got green flag, so they're heading back out. Yeah, that's right. and so probably where I was trying to lead you to was, though, the other amazing thing about this series is what goes on in the pits and the whole social side of it, because it's just full of really good people, isn't it?
100%, and that's one of the things that we have concentrated on. Is the social side of the series. We have obviously excluding Teretonga when we run under COVID levels, but last night we went to Hagley Aluminium and Doors and had a great function there. Tonight we're going to have a prize giving at the track, and all of the guys come along. They all intermingle, and they don't care whether you're driving a Mercedes SLS or a Toyota Starlet. Everybody's getting in there, having fun, having a yarn. And that's really, really good.
One of the great pictures I saw of yesterday, which I think sums up this series as well, is a competitor leaning over the bonnet of another competitor's car, helping him fix it. Now, they're not just competitors in the race, they're actually competitors in their class as well. And there he is in getting his competition car fixed so that they can race today. And that really says it all, doesn't it? Because
that is a very good. I've seen that same photo. I know the one you're talking about, and that is really, really quite unique, I guess. Especially like you say, it's not like he was in a different class. He's his direct competitor, and he's in there, giving him a hand to get that car going. So that's awesome.
So and that makes this series so brilliant. So if you're anywhere in the world and you're thinking you need a bit of a holiday down in New Zealand where we're almost COVID free, and you've got a race car,
send it on over.
Come on down. And of course, speaking about anywhere in the world, we're so blessed to be bringing all this live stream to you to the world. Thanks to the Heart of Racing.
100%.
And we're going to talk about them a little bit later in the day. We've got some interviews and things going on. We've got some prizes to give away. We've got some caps from Heart of Racing. We've got some shirts, some other merchandise from some of the teams. We've got $1,000 worth of Carter's Tyres to give away to anyone in New Zealand could win. So you're going to have to keep listening to the live stream, put up with me for the most of the day, and there's $1,000 of tyres to be won by some lucky follower out there, thanks to Carter's Tyres. So looking at the qualifying, okay, we're still yet to get a time realistically from anyone as they come around to warm up again. Hello, we've got car off at Fulton Hogan. So these are the times. Yeah, they're just initiation lap times. Nothing much to report there.
Now the C is the
So
first
we've
group
got
of
a
cars
ute out there.
come across the start-finish line. We'll see some times being laid down. Yes, we
Yep.
have got a ute out there. He was a late entry. That's Roger Nees.
We're just
One of
driving by, was he?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a racing on today. Oh, can I join in?
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
took the tools out of the back.
It's one of the New Zealand V8 spec utes.
Okay.
Not the first time we've had a ute racing with us. We used to have Perry Scar from Australia. I'm sure he'll be tuning in.
He will be.
The Black Boys from Dunedin. They used to run a 427 cubic inch powered ute in the series for quite a number of years. So.
And was there a Sanyong, a repowered Sanyong or something? Or
Yep, that's the Coopers out of the North Island. They've had that down here, and Alex Whitley has driven that with us. Again, a V8 powered Sanyong ute. So that just reiterates, the fact that no matter how weird and wonderful your machinery is, you're welcome.
You're welcome. So there'll be a wee bit of frustration out there now because having been through the red flag, we've got another red flag by the look of it, is that everyone bunches up in the pits, and so there's a lot of traffic and it's hard to get some clean air. So they will have to come in again.
Yep.
So the red flag protocol is during qualifying is you must line up at the red flag line in the pit lane. So and here they come in again.
So the other part of the rule is if you do cause a red flag during qualifying, you'll get knocked back 3 grid positions for the start of the race.
Right. So that's a South Island Endurance
that's a Motorsport
rule,
New Zealand.
A Motorsport New Zealand rule.
Yes.
Right. And you can be fined. Is that right?
I don't know.
I think you can be fined. Yes, I'm pretty sure you can be fined. So.
Beautiful little BMW M1 on screen there.
Is that it's not a diesel one though, is it?
No, it's not the diesel one.
Okay, we're going to cross over to Adam. He's down in the pits.
So we're down here with Glenn Smith, who's driving the fabulous 650S McLaren. How's things going for you guys?
Yeah, pretty good. Johnny went down some old tyres early on in that session and set a time, and then we put some new ones on. I went out sort of near the mid to end, and it's a reasonable time we were happy with, and so we parked it, and we're basically ready for the race.
You got one more qualifying.
Hey?
One more qualifying, right?
Yeah, what's the point in running around and wearing everything out? And all I want to do is do a 19 because they said I couldn't do it, the boys. So I got one, so they owe me a beer.
Sweet. And I have to say thanks to you guys because they really helped out as well. It's a real amazing community, the endurance racing community. And they came down from Auckland. So at Hampton Downs, we threw all our cameras and tripods in their truck and brought it down. So thanks so much for helping out with that.
Oh, thanks to you guys, mate. That's so many people love watching this stuff. It's so cool.
Right, well, good luck for today. I mean, the car was running really well yesterday and this morning, so you just crack into it, right?
Yeah, as long as I don't spin out like I did yesterday, we'll be all right.
Yeah, it was a good one too. He did a full 360, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was quite embarrassing. Everyone was watching.
Oh, you didn't hit anything. That's the main thing. They're going back out on track again, so we'll go back over to Victor in the outdoor broadcast unit.
Okay, and we're rolling again. Just looking at that little Janetta going out. So, so back into the session. I mean, these guys will be, the best time we've got is a 1:28.9, which is a lot slower than we would expect. So the guys will be getting a bit frustrated. Time is ticking on. There's been 8 minutes of the session so far, and the traffic's going to be bunched up. So it's going to be interesting to see. This could mess up qualifying a little bit for some people.
Yeah, I think you did right, Victor. The guys will be starting to get a little bit frustrated, the fact that they can't get a decent, series of laps together.
Yeah, we're seeing that there, just coming into the hairpin, after coming into the pits, and the tyres have cooled down a wee bit, and there's a little bit of passing going on the first lap out. That has a fair amount of risk attached to it because the tyres just cool off just that little bit, and what grip you had before is not quite there yet, so they'll be wanting to get a bit of heat back into those tyres.
You can see the big field. These guys are coming around to back onto the old part of the circuit, and there's still cars heading down the back straight.
Yeah. So how many entries have we got?
I think we ended up with 42 for this race. Yep.
Fantastic.
Lost a couple of cars during the latter part of the week, unfortunately, but
Yep.
I think we ended up with 42, so a really good field.
That's motorsport, though. Lovely little Janetta. It's been it's raced last year, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think he Steve Scholes that is, and I think he's actually got a little collection of Janettas. So I'm not too sure if it was that one that he ran last year or a different car.
Right.
He's currently sitting in 5th position in this qualifying session, but as Victor said, pretty early days. We need to get a few laps under our belt to see how things settle. One of the interesting facts here, Victor, is that out of last year's Carter's Tyres Endurance Series, I think there's the top 5 cars in the 1 hour from last year. None of them have returned for this year for a variety of reasons. There's been cars sold and guys looking to do other bits and pieces of motorsport this year. So we're definitely in for a new champion this year, and it's kind of brought a whole nother group of guys to the front of the field. So quite exciting to see that. Exciting.
And so leading after round 1 of the in the 1 hour is what do we got in the points there? I've got that somewhere. So we got the Collins Ross Mustang, who won in Teretonga, followed by Martin Dippy, and then the Derek Porsche 991, sorry, and then Bruce Davidson in the Chevy Corvette, and Russell McKenzie in the Porsche 991 as well. So those are the top 5 heading into this race. So it's going to be interesting to see the results after.
Yeah, totally. The Teretonga's quite a big, fast circuit, so it certainly would have suited the Mustang down there. Whereas Ruapuna's got 3 reasonably big straights, but then a really technical infield section as well. So that will probably suit the Porsches a little bit more than the likes of the Mustang. So yeah, it'll be a good race.
Yeah. So Ruapuna is quite surprisingly technical through that middle part, isn't it?
Yeah, through the infield, it definitely is. It's got some quite some quite tricky little corners in there. So
they, the worst kept secret in the pits yesterday, because everyone was sworn to confidentiality, but the guy that told me forgot to tell me that I was sworn to confidentiality, is that Mustang has got more ponies under the bonnet than a Karaka horse sale. Is it?
They were talking about in excess of 900 ponies under the bonnet of that bad boy.
Yeah, that race fan. So if you're within 300 kilometres of Christchurch, it's time to pack the car up and come and watch what 900 plus ponies of
NASCAR engine.
Yeah. And to be fair, what I've heard is it's not close to the 900, it's closer to the upper end of the 900s. Like, it's a serious horsepower.
Definitely, yeah.
To the point where the tyres were complaining, as you can imagine.
Very much so.
But it's just a beautiful car, isn't it?
Oh, totally. And it's it's been built by the MRX boys out of the Waikato.
Yep.
And the Collins Motorsport team run it, and they do a bloody good job. So yeah, it was absolutely awesome to see them have a good run at Teretonga and take the win.
Yeah, it was well deserved win.
Totally.
And it must have been a heap of fun to drive that car down there. Because it's such an open flowing circuit. You'd be yee-hawing all the way around as a driver.
Interestingly enough, though, we don't see them on the timesheet at the moment. We've got the top 12 cars on the display in front of us, and they ain't there. So I'm not too sure that's the cars in the pit lane by the look of it. So they're don't look like they are working all that hard on it.
So that if they, I don't know if they've even been out and put down a lap. Let me just check here.
Oh, there they
No.
are. No, they haven't been out.
No, they haven't been out.
38th position.
So they've they've done sector 1, 2, and 3. So they've done 3 laps, but haven't laid down a time. So
That car's actually heading out into the back of the pits.
okay.
We just caught that on one of our other cameras.
Right. So so that's a bit of action already in that the 900 plus ponies are not all facing the right way by the sound of it, and
Yeah, well,
so-
that's endurance racing, isn't it?
It sure is,
You just don't know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen.
but those guys don't come here to give up. So
Oh, mate, definitely not.
it could make for a very exciting race if starting off the back. So that's pretty exciting. Now Martin Dippy went the quickest a moment ago, but he's just been pipped by Russell McKenzie. So the boys are starting to get a bit of air and starting to lay down some lap times. Lovely little McLaren coming around there.
Yeah, that's Lindsay O'Donnell. He's currently sitting in P11. So that car was was initially brought into the North Island by PJ Johnson and Co. They ran it up there for just the one season, I believe, and then it was sold down to the South Island. And Lindsay's in his second season in that car with us. But yeah, one of 2 of those GT4 McLarens that are running
Right.
with us this year.
So that's the 570 McLaren.
It is.
Yep.
And the other one is currently sitting in P6, which is driven by David McAlpine and Kynan New.
Right.
People that have been involved with Highlands Motorsport Park will know Kynan very well.
Yep. So they've been reasonably regular campaigners for the last couple of years too, I think, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
So,
Yep.
so seeing the Audi there, is that the Chapman Audi? A look at it.
It is. They're going to be quite hard for us, Victor, because they both look the same.
They do.
Although that one there's definitely Debbie, because she doesn't have the big X covering the damage on the right-hand side of the car that Dennis has.
And I heard that you can tell because it's slightly quicker than Dennis.
Potentially, yes.
Well, I think it was quicker yesterday. So some family feud going on there. Now we've got a car slowed down on the infield there.
That's Robert Jaya in the wee Lotus Exige. Looks like he's back going again though, so hopefully that won't cause us another red flag.
No, I think he's okay. It's that second, the left-hander of the S's, isn't it? It's a deceptive little corner. There he is there.
He has had more than his share of problems with that little car, so let's see. No, he's not heading towards the pit,
he's
so he's obviously just had
staying
an off-track excursion.
Yep. Might have been just run out of talent. So
look at all that beautiful space available on the bank there, Victor.
oh, it's amazing, isn't it? Look, it's going to be a beautiful day. It is free to get in, so there's no excuses. There's food vendors around the place. There's just a day full of these beautiful, beautiful cars. No shortage of entertainment. Spots on the bank. You can just park up. Enjoy the racing. There's prizes to give away on the track and prizes to give away on the live stream. So if you're more than 300 kilometres away and you're not going to make it in time, you're still not going to miss out.
Yeah, these cars that we're going to see today, Victor, are world-class cars. You know that the GT4 cars that we've got out here now, you know, that they could go anywhere in the world and race in a GT4 race.
Yeah.
The GT3 cars that we see in the 3 are the same, and even the likes of the TCR cars that are sort of mixed in both races. You know, that's a worldwide formula as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's Jordan Mickles there heading under Mel Waters in the wee Honda Civic. Again, that car could go anywhere in the world and be competitive in TCR. So we really are lucky to have such a fabulous mix of those cars racing with us.
Quality field and good drivers as well. So we've got a few international names.
We have.
We've got, of course, we've got
Alex Riberas.
We've got Mr. Murphy.
Greg Murphy.
Ronan's old man.
Yep. We've also got the likes of Johnny Reid, who was our Black Beauty A1GP driver.
Yep.
So there's a really good mix of
Johnny Max. Johnny Max driven a few cars around the place. There's a ton of experience out here.
But then you've got the young guys as well. The likes of Jordan Mickles, who's the current New Zealand Formula Ford champion.
Right.
Jaden Ransley, who's one of the top, Toyota 86 drivers and stuff like that. Just all mixed in here with guys that only come and do endurance racing every year. That's their thing, and that is again just such an excellent way that we can go racing down here.
So Jordan's interesting. I was talking to him last night at the function, and I'm going to drag him in here later on today. But he's racing in the third round in the 3 hours, is that right? With Hayden Paddon.
Yes, a deal that they've been working on for a wee while that they only just announced at the end of last week.
Fantastic.
So that'll be really exciting to see Hayden here, and it'll be awesome for Jordan as well to be able to pace himself, against someone like Hayden Paddon in Hayden Paddon's car.
Yeah, well, because what I've seen over the last few years is you have some of these top teams have got the car might be owned by the second driver, and they have a semi-professional type driver that they bring in and they race with, and you're seeing the quality of the gentleman drivers improving all the time just because of that relationship, and you look at and these guys are the first to admit, you look at Neil Foster, he's driving superbly well, Simon Gilbertson driving really well compared with 2 or 3, 4 years ago, just because of that relationship. So it's really improving the standard of some of those guys. It makes their racing really, really a lot of fun.
Totally, yeah.
So Simon's not racing today. He's been crooked overnight or something.
Yeah, he had food poisoning last weekend, and he doesn't seem to think that he's quite shaken that.
Right.
So he, I was just talking to him earlier this morning. Actually, he was saying that he did 8 laps in the car yesterday and come in and felt very fatigued. And he just said, "That's not me. I can drive that car for an hour without getting that level of fatigue." So when I only did 8 laps, I knew that something was wrong.
Yeah.
So and very sensible of him. He was like, "The car's too valuable to risk. I don't want to risk damage to the car myself, or more importantly, damage to another competitor."
Absolutely.
So he was like, I can't do it. So they were scouring the pit lane for someone that had a helmet handy, and I think Nick Ross won the 100-metre sprint to get there. And now we've got Nick Ross joining up with Johnny Mack in that car.
Yeah, and they'll be formidable, of course.
Oh, totally.
It's like
So
huge credit to Simon for making the call, because it's when you're at the track and you've spent weeks, sometimes the whole year getting ready for this, and you just want to go racing. And the worst thing is he probably woke up this morning feeling pretty good.
That was what I asked him, how are you feeling? He's like, "I'm feeling better today."
yeah, it's like
damn it.
And Nick's standing there going, "Oh, you don't look so good, mate. You still look a bit grey, So but credit to Simon for stepping aside and letting Nick in, and so that's going to be it's going to be interesting to see how that car goes.
So at the moment, Nick's scheduled to be driving with the Collins Mustang in this 1 hour. So
right.
He might. His helmet might have been redundant if that car doesn't make it to the track. Saved by the fact that he's now driving the Camaro. So.
Okay, so just very quickly, what's the ruling on that? So then it's the race. Who if they don't qualify, can they still run in the race?
Well, they technically have qualified. They've done a lap, so they've met the criteria for that.
Of going out on track.
Yep. So they'll just be starting off the back of the grid. Yep.
So, but because to get a qualifying time, you must do 75% of the qualifying laps.
No,
But
you can go out and do one lap.
Don't you know that rule? You've been around 5 minutes.
Go out and do one lap, and
You
that's
can do one lap?
That's it. Yep. And if you're someone as confident as, I don't know, George McFarlane or one of those, you think you can come out and do one lap, put it on pole, and then straight back in the garage.
That's George to a T, isn't it? Eh?
Hey, going back to the results from this qualifying session, looks like we've got the top 3 cars in the pits at the moment. So whether they have done their best times and put it away, but currently Russell McKenzie is the pace setter, and he's done a 25.187, closely followed by Marco Schelp, 125.252. So bugger all in it between those two guys. Victor.
And
Marco's just come back from Germany, done his couple of weeks isolation so that he can get back into the New Zealand motor racing scene.
He's just a delightful character around the pits, isn't he?
He is.
He's
awesome.
had tons of experience, but he's just. I've been to the AGM, the South Island Endurance AGM, and if Marco's got something to say, it puts a smile on your face.
He was saying it's 8 months since he's driven a racing car, and that's potentially a record for him. And I said, "How did you cope, Marco?" "Oh, lots and lots of go-karting. Go-karting every weekend."
Still racing something, yeah. Oh, brilliant. So we've got Martin Dippy, and then we've got Scott O'Donnell's come in at 4th there with Alan Dippy. And Danny there in 5th, Danny Whiting. So they're a few seconds behind, so there's a bit of a spread over those top 10, 3 seconds.
Yeah, there's the O'Donnell Dippy car sitting in 4th at a 27.0, and then the Bruce Davidson car in 8th at a 27.9. So there's 4 on that same second there. And then we've got again this basically the same at 128, haven't we?
Right.
Chris Nicholas, John Wadsworth, Murray and Carl Beebe and Jordan Mickles. That's a bloody good time from Jordan Mickles in the wee TCR Honda Civic to be doing a 28.9. So he's certainly leading his class at this stage. And Bruce Davidson in the Corvette C6R currently leading our Class C, and he's sitting in 8th place on a 127.9.
I'm just looking at the BB car there, 711.
So that's one at the rear of the group we've got on screen here now with the yellow flanks.
Lovely little car. It's a replica built, is it?
Yeah, they've built that themselves in the shed at home again. Obviously Skyline R32 GTR with a lot of good componentry in it.
A lot of love gone into that car.
A lot of love.
It's just one of those things that you see in New Zealand that you don't necessarily see, around other parts of the world. We get to watch a bit of motorsport from Europe, and there's a lot of, purpose-built race cars. The guys who've got the Porsche or the TCR cars, and but here this mix of the home built and those purpose-built cars and stuff that's imported, that's maybe 3 or 4 seasons old from somewhere, because the price is right. It's just so great to see. It's real grassroots motorsport stuff in lots of ways, isn't it?
Totally, and that's as we've said, and we'll continue to say, you've got the grassroots guys, the guy that we just seen there in his wee Honda Civic coming into the pits, and then at the other end of the scale, we've got Alex Riberas in the harder racing car, factory Aston Martin driver.
Yep.
Greg Murphy, 4 times Bathurst champion. Guys like that don't need any introduction to the worldwide audience.
No.
But to have the likes of those guys and the likes of the guys in the wee Civics and bits and pieces like that all racing here with us today is absolutely fabulous.
Fabulous. So we're coming to the end of that qualifying. Looks like we've got about a minute and a half to go. The 1 hour race involves a pit stop, a compulsory pit stop.
It does. You have to do a compulsory pit stop after 10 minutes and before 50 minutes. So the first 10 and the last 10, we want it to be an outright race, off the start line or to the finish. But between that, you have to do a compulsory pit stop. What that involves is for the 2 driver cars, one driver has to get out and the other driver has to get back in. If you're a single driver team, you have to get out of your car, run a full circle round the car, and then jump back in it.
Right.
And to even that up, with the 2 driver teams, one driver will jump out, run halfway around the car, tag the other driver, finish the lap of the car, and then get back in.
Right.
So that is something that we do just to add a bit of spice into the race.
Sure.
It's something that a lot of the teams practice for and can do it really, really quickly.
Yep.
And that gives them an advantage on the circuit.
Yep.
So yeah. We'll see, I think there's 4 cars this weekend that are doing it, and it is basically it's a time stop. You have to come and stop, and you wait for 60 seconds, and then you can take off again, and you do that if you don't want to get out of the car and run around.
Right.
So we've got a couple of guys that will do that for various reasons. I know that the likes of young Jordan Mickles did it last year when he had a damaged collarbone and was having trouble getting out of the car.
Yep.
And some guys, the likes of some of the Porsche drivers, by the time you actually unplug your cool suit, your helmet fan, your radio, your drink bottle, and then replug all that back in, sometimes it's actually better for them just to sit in the car, have a rest, get the focus back again, and then go again.
Yep. So, and some of these car owners are a different shape to the dedicated car drivers as well, aren't they? So
yes, they are. Yep. But I mean, we give them the option of being able to do that. So you don't have to get out and run around your car.
Yep.
But like if you don't do it, you have to be stationary for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Some of the fast guys, the likes of the Chris and Johnny Small, for example, who won our series last year, they can do the jump out, run around, jump back in, rebelt it in just in 30 seconds.
Right. Okay, we're going to go live down to the pits. We've got Adam waiting, and Adam, who you got with you there?
So we're here with Russell McKenzie. Russell, you were on pole right almost to the end of that session, and it looks like Marco's just pipped you at the post, right?
Yeah, Marco, he was sitting there waiting for the track to clear. The track was really busy early, and I don't think any of us got a super clean run, and so Marco went out to take that honour. So we were sitting and we were trying to save our tyres for the race, so that's why we didn't go out the last few minutes.
Tell us what time you did, and is that your best time here?
No, not my best, but it's relatively close to my best, yeah.
So it was a 125?
125. 125.1 I think we did then, didn't we? Yeah, yes, yeah.
That's pretty quick. So what's your strategy for the race? Are you just going to go out there and see what happens, or?
For the race, we're just trying to stay clean, keep, just work through the traffic and just stay clean, have a nice fast pit stop, and just work through the traffic wherever we can.
Well, you're starting at the pointy end, so that's good. What are you looking for? Because there's a lot of Porsches around at that front of the race, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of Porsches. Marco's always fast, so we're always looking out for Marco, and there's a lot of other fast Porsches there. Scott O'Donnell, the Dippies, they're all quick, so just have to look out for everybody.
Now, the one that really confuses, I'm a Porsche kind of, I like Porsches.
Yep.
But there's so many different types of Porsche. How do we tell the difference?
Yeah, so what I'm running is the 991 Gen 2. So it's the latest car, and also Danny Whiting's in the same car, and in the 3-hour Anthony Lee's next to us in the garage. He's also running a Gen 2. So they're really, really nice. The latest model, great car to drive.
And so they are Porsches. So that's a 991, and then there's a 997. Right. Yeah. So how do we tell the difference?
I'm not. 991 stands out. It's the 991 is the iconic old shape that's been around forever, and it just evolves bit by bit. And I think there's very little difference between the 991 Gen 1 and Gen 2. There's some Gen 1s floating around here. My old car's here. The Derricks are driving that, and it's a car that won the Asian Carrera Cup in 2015. So it's a very quick car. Chris Vanderdrift drove it in that season to win the 2015 Carrera Cup.
So basically each generation's just got slightly better, right?
That's correct, yeah. There's just little subtle changes. Nothing major, but just subtle. All
right, well, we'll go try and find Marco, because I know Marco's probably not in one of the garages. So we'll try and find the pole-sitting Marco Schelp, who's just back from Germany actually, and he's a really experienced racer. So we'll try and get some words with him. But in the meantime, we'll go back to the commentary team, and we'll try and get that pole position for you.
So that was an interesting session there, Victor.
Yeah, it was.
But Marco just took the pole in the last dying moments of that.
Well, he did less laps than most people. He did 7 laps, and there was a lot of cars that did 15 or 16, and he was 100th off the lap record, which is a race lap record, to be fair.
Correct.
So still pretty quick. Looks like the track's warmed up a bit, because those cars weren't just over the edge like we saw earlier. So it's going to be interesting to see. We've got the 3-hour cars ready to go out again. It's going to be interesting to see what the times are versus earlier this morning when it was pretty much perfect conditions.
Yeah, as you can see now, you know, there's a lot of sun coming out. The shadows are certainly there as the final 3-hour session gets underway. So I walked up and down pit lane early this morning, Victor, and there was so many people had these nice, shiny new black tyres all lined up, sets and sets and sets of them, ready to go.
So so as much as it's pretty social, it also gets a bit serious sometimes, doesn't it? When it gets
it
down
does,
to
it does, but it's fun serious.
Oh, absolutely,
you know?
yeah, yep. So So just one thing. I mean, we're bringing this live stream to the world thanks to the Heart of Racing. You can check them out. Do a search for the Heart of Racing for their website. We're going to be giving away some merchandise. There it is, there on the screen. It's heartofracingteam.com. We're thankful to them for supporting New Zealand Motorsport, for supporting this endurance series with the live streaming, and so I just wanted to raise that. And one of the things that they've done is they've said each of the teams can put their sponsors' logos or whatever along at no charge or whatever as well. So they really are doing a great job of supporting this motorsport and these teams, because not as much as there's a lot of teams that had nice new black tyres out there waiting to go on, there's also a lot of teams that have fairly tight budget, that not big money. In fact, they wish they had the big team's tyre budget for their whole season. You know, so it's a good mix. But at the pointy end of things, it's very much serious racing.
100%. No, those Heart of Racing team, you know, that's absolutely fabulous of them to get in behind this series and support it the way they have.
You'd think they were Kiwis, wouldn't you? They've got the right attitude. They've got
100%.
Oh, yeah, Gabe. I know he's up in Auckland because he's a bit committed up there, but you know, really, you know, it's people like Gabe that we want living in New Zealand. You know, he's got all the qualities of a good Kiwi.
Oh, the good Kiwi petrol head.
Yeah, good Kiwi petrol head. What a good bugger. So, yeah.
So these guys are just out there. They'll just be warming up in the first couple of laps. Remembering that all these cars are built for the 3-hour race, so they're not going to be able to go out on the first lap and set their absolute best lap time.
Okay, so we're gonna shoot down to pit lane because we've got another interview. And Adam
looks like he's got Marco Schelp with him.
Marco Schelp, the fastest in the 1 hour. Okay, Adam, let's have a talk to Marco.
There's all sorts of chitter chatter on the radio.
Looks like we're not going to quite have Adam just yet.
Okay, got a
as we see that
issue there. That's okay.
There's the Heart of Racing, Aston Martin heading out onto the track.
We can hear it going past us now. We can feel it going past. We're in a little sort of caravan, or actually a car trailer, and right by pit lane. So as these cars go out, the caravan shakes and carries on. So So we've still got it's the seriously fun guys going past tooting their horn. We've still got Adam down there. We're just trying to get the communication sorted out, and we're going to have an interview with Marco Schelp, who is the fastest of the 1 hour. He's taken pole. So yes, so we're sorting it out. Here's the Aston Martin coming around the hairpin.
Now this car, Victor, was brand spanking new before our Teretonga round. That was its first ever race.
Right.
And obviously it won the race down there. They then took it to the North Island for the Golden Homes Endurance Series up there a couple of weeks ago. Finished third up there. Obviously Ruapuna this weekend. 2 weekends' time they were in Timaru for the final of the South Island round. The following weekend they'll be back in Auckland for Pukekohe for the final round of the North Island Series. And then a couple of weeks after that, providing they qualify, which I'm sure they will, back down to Highlands Motorsport Park for the New Zealand Endurance Championship. So these guys are going to have a hell of a lot of racing over the 2 month period.
So now, I mean, you said they won in Teretonga, but let's be fair, it wasn't by much, was it?
I think it was half a second after 3 hours.
Half a second after 3 hours. So, and look, we've seen in qualifying that there's 6 cars that are really, really quick and not far from the money, and we could have 6 cars on the same lap come 3 hours today.
Easily.
So it's going to be pretty exciting. So you want to stay tuned, or you want to get down to the Mike Perot Motorsport Park in Christchurch. So it's anyone's race. Are you going to pick a winner?
Hell no. I'm not that brave.
We might have to have a competition and see who can pick a winner. Get a hat. We've got some caps to give away. I need some ideas. We're going to put a phone number up, I think, on the screen shortly, where is going to be the competition number, where people will need to possibly ring in or maybe text in. I don't know. We're not that well organised, but we're going to give some stuff away somehow. We've got some T-shirts and some caps. Thanks to Heart of Racing and a couple of the other teams, we've got $1,000 worth of Carter's tyres to give away. Now Carter's, they've been supporting this series for quite some time now, haven't they?
They have. Gary, Robin and the team, they're absolutely fabulous to deal with. They got branches nationwide, and they love supporting us. So we're going to flick back to Adam now, back in pit lane, who's got Marco Schelp, the pole winner, for the 1 hour race with him.
So here we are with Marco Schelp, and Marco got the provisional pole basically in the last lap. How was it?
Oh yeah, it was busy, but the other competitors, they're really in the slow cars. They're really doing well and giving room, and they stay on their line, which is very important for us, that we, the faster ones, that we can estimate where they go. If they try to give room too much, it may crash. So it's really good. It's nice.
So Marco, you've done a lot of endurance racing, and I know you've done a lot of Nuremberg Ring 24-hour races. I mean, how does that compare to what we're doing here?
Well, it's exactly how it is at the Nürburgring concerning the slower and the faster cars. So it's even more busy here because it's a short track, so you don't have any time to relax here. At Nordschleife you usually
Righto, looks like we
lost the signal there.
Yeah, lost Adam again. We're going to try and get that sorted for you. Meantime, we're back into the thick of it with this final of the 3 hour qualifying session. So the way this works, Victor, is that you can set a time in either the first session or the second session, and it's just your single fastest time that counts.
Right.
So there's no, combining the best time out of each session and halving it or anything like that. It's straight out dogfight. Fastest car gets pole. Doesn't matter whether you set it in the first session or the second session.
Right. So we're watching Johnny probably on screen.
Yep, that's the Gilbertson JMR car. So as we alluded to earlier on, Simon's not feeling that well this weekend, so he's handed his driving gloves over to Nick Ross, who's going to be taking the wheel of that. quite a big ask for someone to
Yeah.
jump into a beast like that, having never driven it before. And
Yeah, I mean, to be
Have a
fair,
go.
with the power they've got under the bonnet of that Mustang, he's the power of this thing's probably getting up there somewhere as well. But it's it's just a matter of getting used to the car more than the power, isn't it? The whole way it handles is probably radically different, and so it's a big ask. But Nick's up to it. So now we're going to see probably the fastest and the slowest car, or one of the fastest and the slowest car on track, coming up on the little Peugeot. It's a great sound. We're just listening to that go past the commentary position. Coming into turn one. Car looks very well set up.
definitely, this is actually the ex-Glenn Smith car. So when Glenn was looking at buying the McLaren, he needed to sell the Camaro. So Simon and Johnny had driven the Inky Tulloch Camaro previously, and
Right.
Simon felt they had unfinished business in that car. So
Right.
Simon wrote the check out, bought this car off Glenn Smith, and they've been developing that ever since. So bit of a shame that the Inky Tulloch car's parked up in a shed now and we haven't seen it for a number of years.
Yeah.
But still good to have one of those big American V8s out there
Now,
giving these Euro cars a run for their money.
Yeah, now because it's positioned in the E class, but it's not technically a international GT3 car, is it?
It was an FIA GT3 car, but
Right.
these guys have developed it with a bit of their own aero and a bit of their own technology into it.
Right.
So it doesn't qualify. It wouldn't qualify to be an FIA GT3 car. If they took it overseas anywhere.
Right.
But because it started life as a GT3 car, we included into that class into that class E.
And it's realistically most suited racing against those.
Oh,
other cars.
100%.
So
I mean, the rumour was that one of the team, and I think it might have been one of the Inky Tulloch team, went to Sereni in Germany where they build those cars,
Right.
and seen a whole lot of Camaro parts stacked in the corner. And hey, what are all these parts? And the Sereni guy was, why, they're the parts that were the FIA wouldn't let us homologate because the wing was too big and the splitter was too long and the whatever it was. And they were like, what are you going to do with them? Oh, they're just sitting in the corner. Mate, send those to New Zealand.
yeah, that's right. That's a fair game. Brilliant. Right, so we're looking at the lap times here. So we're 1:21 is the Foster Reed car now, and that's leading the way at 21.5 behind is Johnny Mack or Nick Ross. So the assumption is that the track's warmed up a bit.
Yes, potentially that, or they've got they've got the co-drivers in the
out.
car for this
For this session. Yep.
So yeah, the times are definitely a little bit slower, but that certainly could be attributed to the track. It certainly looks like it's warming up out there. A lot more sun out there now than there was earlier on. Just on screen there now, we've got the Signature Homes Hyundai TCR car, followed by the V-Dub TCR car of M Developments. So these, the Signature Homes car had a really torrid time at Tirotonga, unfortunately. I think they did one lap of the race before they had to retire with some issues. They've traced it back to some poor fuel. Is what it was, yes. So they're back and looking for some redemption this weekend.
Yes.
The car behind that in shot is the M Developments TCR V-Dub Golf. Now they had an absolutely wicked race with the Track Tech Racing Audi down at Tirotonga, so they'll be looking for for another win in that little battle.
Yeah. They're hard shots, they come in and they you see them around the pits and they're all very lovely and whatever, but they just want to win. They're determined to win their class, but everyone that they beat in the classes above is a great victory, as well.
Correct. So the other one that's just coming out of the pit lane there in the background is the McDermott Toyota 86. Now that actually has a 2JZ which is the 3-litre Toyota Supra engine shoehorned under the bonnet of that with a monster turbo.
Right.
Not one of our Class C home-built rockets.
And they weren't at Teretonga though, were they?
No, they didn't make the Teretonga round, but
Right.
yeah. Back for this one. It's the car on screen now, the Castrol Edge
Right. So we got
sponsored car.
3 cars in Class C, which is that 3.5 litre and above. We've got 6 cars in Class B, and then 5 cars in Class A. So Class A is up to 2 litres. 6 cars in Class B, which is the 2 litre through to 3.5 litre, and then just the 3 cars in the Class C, which has traditionally been the hand grenade class, isn't it?
Very politely put, but yes.
Yeah, it's been the most challenging class, and then Class D, we've got another 6 cars, and then of course Class E is 7 cars. Is that must be getting up there as far as Class E is concerned, in numbers?
Yes, definitely. I mean, yeah, there's no cars, in New Zealand that are currently competing that aren't here for this weekend.
Right.
I actually seen the ex Clark Proctor Nissan GTR on Trade Me for Sale quite recently. So there's only a couple of other, FIA GT3 spec cars in the country that aren't here.
Right.
So,
Wow.
yeah, definitely a class field. Like you can go anywhere in the world and see this caliber of car racing. So we are just incredibly spoilt to have all these cars, racing in the endurance series in both the North and the South Island.
Well, yeah. Right. Well, look at that. Second place, the Leach or West car.
Yeah, so that's one of the older model GT3 cars. So that's the older model R8.
It's about, it might be 6 years old now.
Yeah, I think it is about 2014. That would make sense. So they're doing really well. They've actually just been knocked back to third as the harder racing car goes to the top of the timesheets in this session. Based on these current times though, Victor, this session actually won't mean a lot because most of those cars were quicker in the opening session this morning. So that'll be the one that'll be the time that counts when it comes to qualifying.
So we've got a track record. Track weather is 16 degrees, so it has warmed up quite a bit. We're just over halfway through this session, so
now we see the Nick Ross and Johnny McIntyre car go to the top of the timesheets. So, tell you what's interesting is that the Carter's Tyres car hasn't featured in this session at all yet. And as I say that, it pops up into second place.
yeah. That's the joy of being a commentator, you see. You can say things and it happens. So that's why you have to be careful what you're saying. It's a bit like being at home and wandering into the kitchen. You just can't say things without, you got to think first.
So this is Greg Murphy's first ever drive of this car. So he has obviously done a multitude of racing and quite a bit in GT3 spec cars, but this is his first time he's ever driven a Mercedes. He hasn't been racing at Ruapuna for a long time.
No.
So when he jumped in that car this morning in that first session and was, literally only a couple of seconds off the pace in his first 3 or 4 laps, that just shows you the talent of that guy, and he will only get faster as this weekend goes on.
Yeah. So we don't know in the commentary box who is in the car, but there's a chance it's still probably Greg out there again in the second session.
I talked to Gary earlier on that, and they were going to run that car. They were going to use both drivers in both sessions. Just to give both drivers some miles, especially Greg, obviously, because he hasn't driven the car before. But then it also gave them a chance to do a couple of pit stop changes as well in a real life situation.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful car. That's the 2019 body, but it's got the 2020 all the upgrades for the 2020. So if you want to spend some big bucks and go to Europe and watch some racing, that's what you're going to see when you get there. So, or you can come down to Ruapuna, Christchurch, and have a look, and that's exactly the same car as that they're racing in Europe at the moment.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
So that's just to reiterate the point, that's a different car to the one that the Carter's Tyres team had last year.
Yep.
They had the older spec car, which is actually, by the sound of it, being sold back into Europe. So that car's heading off overseas, which is a bit of a shame for New Zealand. But if that's where the market is, that's where the market is.
Sure.
And these boys, have introduced this later generation car, and this is its first event in New Zealand. So again, really exciting for the Carter's Tyres South Island Endurance Series to have that level of commitment from our teams.
Right.
So this car's looks like it's been driven by the scruff of the neck at the moment, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's Greg Murphy and behind the wheel.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if when it comes across the stripe here that it's a pretty damn quick time.
Let's have a look. Lot bit quicker.
Yeah, a second quicker. So he's the
quicker.
first car in this session to go under the 120.
Yep. So Carter's Tyres, of course, this is the Carter's Tyres South Island Endurance Series that you're watching. Carter's been supporters for some years, which we're hugely thankful for, and they're out there racing as well.
So people will remember Carter's for their, they had a couple of the first V8 supercars to be run in New Zealand and in the endurance series down here. They initially started off with I think it was an ex-Brad Jones AU Falcon,
right,
and then they moved up to the ex-Paul Cruikshank BA, which was one that was driven by John Bower. They still have that car. It's actually in the transporter here today, and they're converting that back, I think, to the Paul Cruikshank John Bower colour scheme, which was Glenford's Racing. So they're certainly not going to sell that bad boy off. They're going to
it's done a few race Ks, that car too.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay, he's taking the pace out now. He's just cooling down.
That's nice driving there by those guys. They could see that the Aston Martin was coming in the background. He was on a hot lap. Those guys were coming into the pits.
They got out of the
pulled
way.
well off the racing line. That's the sort of camaraderie that we love in this series. There's no holding each other up or playing silly buggers like that.
No.
He's coming, he's fast, we'll move out of the way, let him get on with it.
So let's see how fast he is. We're going to follow him around.
It's an absolutely beautiful looking car, isn't it?
Well, now the interesting thing is this is the same engine as in that Mercedes that we've just been looking at.
That's they share some technology in there, which is quite interesting. So it's a V8 twin turbo
Mercedes engine. Some people will say the Aston has better aero, and that's pretty much probably
correct.
the difference.
I've heard that as well. That it's the best aero car out of the current GT3 spec machinery.
It's a great looking car. It's just lovely. As much as it's good to be at home watching the live stream, if you can get down here, the sound of these things is phenomenal. Just
the sound and the pace of them, like
something special.
When you're doing under 120s at Ruapuna, you are going fast.
Yep. In a tin top car.
Totally. And they're just so it's just so effortless, isn't it? It's not hanging the tail out and looks like it's being overdriven. It's just doing everything nicely.
Quick.
No, we're not going to get a lap out of that this time, unfortunately.
It's coming in.
What you got to remember, Victor, is that ultimately qualifying doesn't mean a great deal in the 3-hour race, because you got 3 hours to pass a couple of cars, or whatever.
Sure.
Obviously, there's a lot of bragging rights about getting pole, and that's what a lot of it's about.
Yep.
But yeah, ultimately, whether you start second or third isn't going to have a big implication on your race.
So here's the boys. New rubber going on.
So that looks like Darren Kelly getting out and Riberas getting in.
Right. So things are about to get Spanish. The team's looking slick. We've got those tyres done, strapped in. Everything's clear.
So these guys are getting run by the International Motorsport team here in New Zealand. They're running 3 of the top cars in this race, so although they're all under the same umbrella, they are running individual teams, and they, a bit of interfirm rivalry, really, isn't it? They all want to be the team that wins. So.
Yep. And International Motorsport, to be fair, they run a pretty slick operation.
Oh, they run a very slick operation.
Very professional. It's quality, Right, so let's see what Alex can do. He'll be going out. He'll take a lap just to get everything sorted, make sure
so we got
everything's working. There's heat into the tyres.
Looks like we've got five minutes left in this session, Victor. So there's a lot of cars that are in pit lane. If you look at the circuit now, Alex has got a really nice, clear track in front of him.
Yep.
So they'll be looking to
you can see him
to
warming up
really,
brakes there.
really set down a fast time.
Warming up brakes. There he goes. Look, this is about to get exciting, fans. You better turn up the volume. Alex is on a mission, and the mission is P1. You can see it. He's determined, getting as much heat as he can into those brakes. He's got clear air in front of him. Whoops, just getting those tyres warm, winding it sideways. It's coming around. He'll be setting the car up now because he's got 2 corners to go. Still warming it up, and he's going to come onto the sweeper, and then it'll be foot down hard on the floor. Now we're going to see a time. You watch this. Wind up the volume. Here he comes. Right, let's go. Let's watch this. This is going to be a flying lap of Ruapuna in the beautiful heart of racing Aston Martin into turn 1.
Using all of the track of the judder bar as he exited that one, but he's backed out of it.
He's backed out of it.
I wonder if he didn't quite have enough heat in those tyres, because as soon as he backed out of it, he's back into the weaving.
So clearly not enough heat. But he's still got tons of track ahead of him, and he's still got
enough time to
still got
set
enough
another
time.
fast lap. You look at that beautiful clear track in front of him, though. That's
that's
what every race driver wants in a qualifying session, especially when there's 30 odd cars out there. It's can be quite hard to get a clear lap.
Yeah. Right, how's he feeling now? Let's see. Just look for any little. We're still trying to get heat into those tyres. They look pretty fresh with it when they put on. They would have been scrubbed though, wouldn't they?
They looked like they were scrub tyres. It didn't look like they were brand spanking new. So,
right, this time, how are we going? Everyone's still got the volume up anyway. Right, now, look at how much track he's using there. He's got the foot down to the floor. Through the start finish. No one else about. Into turn 1. Now, you can see, interesting, I was watching these guys yesterday. The really fast guys don't hit that apex on the inside. They're about a quarter of a car width out. And I think it just sets them up better for turn 1 so they don't scrub off so much speed, and then they're about 10 or 15 k's faster when they're coming into the hairpin.
Okay.
It's interesting to watch the really fast cars.
Yeah.
Versus those that are just a smidgen off, and it all starts at that turn 1.
Had a little wobble there as he come out of the hairpin still, but the rest of the laps looking good. He's been using all of the circuit, all of the judder bars. Quite a tricky corner there too, Victor, as they come out of what they call the carousel.
Yeah.
Down through the S's.
Going wide there. Up to the main sweeper, coming back onto the straight. Seems like no time that he's gone round this track. Here he comes. He's got the foot down flat. What's this time going to be? Is it going to be P1? Has he done enough? There it is. 119.136. P1. You saw it here. Heart of Racing takes P1. Now we've still got how long to go? We've still got a minute and a half or a minute and a quarter. Is anyone else on track, or have they all said that's it for the day?
No,
seems quiet.
It does seem very quiet.
Okay, sit on the graphic until Adam has moved you, okay?
Okay,
So-
we're going to be shortly going down to the pits where I think Adam's going to grab Greg Murphy and see how he's going. But very shortly after that, we'll be down to see Alex, I'm sure, because it
So,
looks
yeah.
like 1:19.136 is as fast as we're going to go in this qualifying session.
So still not as quick as the first session.
No.
So the first session times will stand, but still, really, really good times to be under the 120s here at Ruapuna Park.
Yeah, any day here in a tin top. Right, we're ready to go. There's Adam down in the pits.
It's a bit of a role reversal. Well, I'm not a racing driver, but I'm the talker. So, can you give me some tips?
Not yet, because I've only just heard your first question, and the first question was sort of average. So,
An average
I'll
first
reserve my
question.
judgment on you just yet. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about racing then. You've been out in the one session in the car, and not long left in that final qualifying, and you guys are on provisional pole.
I think the Aston's still out there, and he's just gone a bit faster, but that doesn't matter. That's all right.
So it's pretty quick. I mean, the first 7 cars are under 1:20 by the lot.
Yeah, and they should be, because they're all very good cars, and they've all got very good drivers in them, and these these GT3 cars are designed to do that, and as I say, with the quality of some of the guys driving them, it's no surprise. So it's awesome. It's great for the series, great for New Zealand motorsport.
And so, talk us through your morning.
Well, I was on a plane at 7 o'clock from Queenstown, and it was on time. That was a bonus, and I arrived and driver's briefing started, and then I've had a couple of laps, and so far so good. It's great.
So you've not driven this car before?
No. I mean, it's obviously fairly fresh for they've had the SLS previously.
You're not going to tell us who's going to start, or will you?
I don't have no idea. That hasn't even been mentioned yet, so we'll find out shortly.
All right, well, we might see you on the grid, or we might see you in the garage and have a yarn later on.
I'll probably be having a sleep. It was early start.
Choice. All right, thanks, Greg. We'll go back to the commentary team.
Hey, bro.
Okay, so we've got about 20 minutes to go, and then the 1 hour race will be underway, so stay with us. There's a chance to go and make a cup of tea and grab a biscuit, crispy or something, ginger nuts, any of those. and the 1 hour race is scheduled to start at 11:15. So you want to be back a bit before that, because the cars will be going out, getting gridded up and all that sort of stuff. So put the cat out, because you don't want to be interrupted by the cat lemon scratching at the door wanting to get out while we're trying to watch racing. So get rid of the cat and the dog, get set up. It's important that you prepare yourself for a good day of endurance racing. The guys will be out on track soon. So it's been an interesting morning, hasn't it? 2 3-hour qualifying sessions. In the 1 hour qualifying session, we've got Marco Schelp on pole for the 1 hour. He'll be pretty excited. He hasn't been doing a huge amount of racing for a few months. He's just been doing a bit of karting, and Marco's such a lovely guy. So it's so good to see him out on pole. 1 hour, even though this is an endurance series, I can tell you now the 1 hour race is pretty much a sprint. There'll be a couple of teams that will require some fuel during their pit stop, so that'll make it interesting. So there we go, we're looking at the lineup there. We've got Marco Schelp, Russell McKenzie, Scotty O'Donnell and Alan Dippy, Martin Dippy, Danny Whiting, Derek's, McAlpine, you and the lovely little McLaren, Bruce Davidson, and the Chevy Corvette, Chris Nichols, and the Williams make up the top 10. Plenty of cars down the grid, different classes. They'll be getting excited. The drivers will be walking up and down, going backwards and forwards to the toilet, wearing out their race shoes as we lead into the second of the 3 rounds of the South Island Endurance Series. Welcome on board. If you've just joined us, huge thanks to the Heart of Racing for supporting this live stream and the other live streams that are coming up, the other rounds and the NZ final. Hugely thankful for them, for their commitment to motorsport, so that people all around New Zealand and around the world can be watching the South Island Endurance Series. It's going to be an action-packed day. We've got some stunning cars. There's going to be some great racing, close racing. That 3 hour race, I could see that we probably could have 4 or 5, maybe 6 cars all on the same lap come the end of that race. You wouldn't want to pick the winner. There's no way you'd want to pick the winner. Just amazing. The speed today, just to put it in perspective, a couple of seconds quicker than the lap record for the 3 hour guys. So that's how quick these cars are going. And so if you're in the area, it's free to get in. Mike Perot Motorsport Park. It's a beautiful day with 16 degrees. You still want to bring some sunscreen because it's just such a gorgeous day. The wind's going to come up a bit later on. That could make things a little bit interesting. But come out, pack up the picnic. There's plenty of room around on the bank. You can park up, don't even need to get out of the car. There's plenty of spots still. And there's lots of things to be given away. So we've got caps, we've got hats, we've got t-shirts and stickers and stuff supported by so many of the teams to give away on the track and on the live stream. So stay tuned into the live stream. Now, one thing you might want to do is, if you've got a pen and paper, if you haven't got a pen and paper, go and grab one, because I'm going to give you a number to write down, because we're going to get people to ring in if you want to win that $1,000 worth of tyres from Carter's Tyres. You're going to have your phone, and you're going to need pen and paper. And you might need to get on the interweb to get a bit of information as well shortly. So yeah, so get your pen and paper, because I'm going to give you guys a number soon, which will be needed for all the competitions, or most of the competitions. So pen and paper, I'm going to read it out in a couple of minutes. Countdown to cars going out must be underway. They'll open up the pit lane, and there's a set time for vehicles to be able to get out on track. So they should be lining up in the chute now, getting ready, because we're just about to hit 11 o'clock. So about 5 past, I think, pit lane will open. You can see it's a pretty good day there. The sky's actually a bit clearer than that. We're looking, that view there, if you're not from New Zealand or Christchurch and you don't know, you're looking at the Port Hills. On the right side of your screen you can see the adventure park. Unfortunately, some years ago we had a massive fire there, and a lot of the trees got burnt down on the right side of the hill there, but there's an adventure park for mountain bikes and so on. Okay, we're just going to go to pit lane. We've got Adam. Adam, who have you got with you?
So I've got the provisional pole sitters for the 3-hour race here, Johnny Reid and Neil Foster. I mean, that was exceptionally fast, that last session. I mean, 7 cars were in either 20 deadish or 19, or what did you do?
In the first session we did a 18 flat, and in the second session opted not to run.
So that was a pretty damn good time. That's miles under the lap record. You've got to be happy with that.
Oh, absolutely. And remember, last year we did an 18-1, so it was right down there with that. So great to beat that. The car's performing really well. Quite warm as well today. Probably going to be the warmest race we've had over the last 3 years. So it'll be interesting to see how all the cars handle that, and obviously the drivers as well. It's quite warm inside the cockpit. Neil's done a really good run. He's done his personal best as well, so we're really pleased as a group, and the team's really focused, so it's going to be exciting.
So Neil, your first session this morning, just sort of got into it, and you're happy with the way the car's running, obviously.
Yeah, it was a chance to go out on good tyres, and we put some new brakes in the front as well. So for me, the car, felt a whole lot better, and I did a pretty good lap time for me. So happy with that.
So what was your time?
1:2.1. Yeah, 1:20.1.
So the thing is, once upon a time, doing a minute 25 here was fast. Now we've got cars that are like exceptionally fast, and the battle at the front is going to be amazing from the get-go, right?
Oh, all the way through the race. I mean, this could be the closest 3-hour we've got, so or had. So great competition, great cars, and everyone's going to have a whole heap of fun. So what more can you ask for? The weather's kind down here. It's awesome.
All right, well, thanks, guys. We'll see you out on the grid. We'll enjoy the 1-hour race first, which looks like they're going out to form up on the grid. So we'll go back to Victor Catamol in the outdoor broadcast unit.
Okay, thanks, Adam. Neil Foster and Johnny Reid down there. Okay, the 1-hour car's starting to come out on track. If you've got your pen and paper, 0273969226. That's the number you need to write down. We're going to be giving away $1,000 of tyres from Carter's Tyres, and a bunch of other prizes. We've got some T-shirts, we've got hats from a couple of the teams, but we've got a bunch of stuff also from Heart of Racing. Not only just supporting this live stream, but amazing that they are giving us stuff to give away as well. So yeah, you can win prizes by coming down here and watching. So there'll be prizes given away live on the track, but also on the live stream. So wherever you are in the country, in fact, I'll tell you what, wherever you are in the world, I'll put my hand in my pocket and I will win something. I'll pay to courier it to you. So if you're wherever you are, we've got some prizes that we will send out around the world. So, right, the 1-hour cars starting to come out. We've got a couple on the grid, others still leaving the pits. So the big question will be, will we see that Nick Ross? Okay, we're just going to Adam.
So we're here with Alex Riberas. You guys were second on the grid for pole position, but it was super tight. I mean, 0.2 of a second in it.
Yeah, hello Adam. It feels really good to be here at Ruapuna. It's my first time here, and everyone had been telling me how special this place is, how fun the track is, and I could feel it in the simulator already, but the real deal is a lot better. So very happy with P2 today. I think the difference between the Audi and our Aston Martin Vantage have been reduced. The guys did a fantastic job yesterday, which was a very tough day for us, trying to find out some issues that we had, some electronical issues and technical issues. But all praise to them for working so hard, and big thanks to Aston Martin as well for helping us a lot.
So tell us, I mean, away from the racing a little bit, but the harder racing, people might not know exactly what it stands for and how it works, and obviously there's a charitable part of it as well. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are here and we are here to race. We're having fun while we do it. We are competitive, but above all of that, we go for a further goal, a further, let's say, bigger picture. Since the goal of the whole project is to raise money for the kids, right? So we started doing that in Seattle for the Seattle Children's Hospital, and that turned out to be something that everybody enjoyed and wanted to be involved. It's a bit less selfish. You're not just going to a track to be the quickest around it. You're doing it for a much bigger purpose. So here in New Zealand, we are doing it with the Starship Foundation. So we just supported their extension of their ICU department, and I think we are super happy to continue to develop our relationship, to help them more, and to race for the kids.
That's amazing. And we've got the web link for the harder racing that's coming up on the web stream, and we'll put a live link on the YouTube page as well. So you can find out more about how that works with the Starship Foundation. And so going forward, I mean, obviously you guys are doing all of the races in New Zealand. I mean, that's pretty intense.
It is intense, but I mean, I love it. That's my happy place, right? Under the hood and under the car and behind the wheel. That's what I enjoy the most. And after having such a long break of over 6 months without driving, I mean, I could not ask for anything else. I'm having a lot of fun. I always wanted to explore the racetracks here in New Zealand, which are amazing, and I'm looking forward to the next ones.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, it's great to have you out here, and it's great to have the harder racing with us. And of course, the broadcast today is brought to you by the harder racing, and we're going to hopefully bring the series, more people looking at it, because we're able to bring this out live to everyone. So it's great to have you guys on board to help us as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's all to enjoy, right? It's all together for a great cause. Enjoy racing, which is what personally we enjoy the most, is our passion, right? And we feel like there's a lot of real passionate people about motorsport here in New Zealand. So if you put that, and on top of it, there's a great cause behind it, it just doesn't get much better. So I hope that people receive it that way. I hope that people understand what this is all about, and that we are one big family within the paddock, which is a bit different than other series. But personally, I'm just loving it.
Yeah, it's a really great community. We have a lot of help from people up and down the lane. It looks like the cars are out on track for the 1 hour, so we better get back to the trackside to see the start of this race. But thanks, mate. We'll talk during the race.
Thanks to everyone at the 1 hour.
Okay. Thanks, Adam, down there with Alex. Right, cars are lined up. We're ready for the start of the 1 hour. Now, what will happen is they line up on the grid here, and then I can still hear cars going out of the pit lane actually. So they'll line up on the grid here, and then they will get a green flag, and they will go round for a initiation or warm-up lap, and they will gather then behind the safety car, and they will do another lap, and then come just before Castrol, the safety car will turn its lights off to let the cars know that we're about to go racing, and it will pull away from the pack, and that will leave Marco Schelp in charge of the pace of the pack. So he's supposed to stay at the same speed as the safety car. They'll come round that big sweeper onto the straight, and then they're under the starter's orders. They'll be waiting for a green light, and then we'll be racing. So strap into your seats, fans. Things about to get exciting. You can just see in the back there, looks like Vaughan Maloney and his little Honda still coming around the hairpin. Be cutting through. There's still a few cars lining up. What's the time? Actually, we've got about 6 minutes before we're actually scheduled to start. So these cars are out there quite early and we'll be getting hot. People will be getting a bit nervous. Marco looks well forward in his pit position there. Vaughan Maloney coming up, the last of them, coming up to the sweeper now. Marco Shelp, Russell McKenzie, Scotty O'Donnell, Martin Dippy, Danny Whiting. That's your first 5. It's going to get interesting when we get to turn 1 because these cars, there's not much in them. Those top 8 cars, there's not a lot in it. Marco pulled in a flyer, but that's different to racing. They'll be full of fuel now. Okay, just about ready. Yes, got the green light. Start to take off from the grid. This is just an initiation lap. It's a rolling start with the Endurance Series. We've got 42 cars. 42 cars on track. No, we've got 40 entries, so a couple of cars out by the look of it. Not sure what's happened there. I'm sure Adam will be down there to get some information. So a couple of cars dropped out. Got the little Carter's Honda there, old Tim Dossett. And you can see quite a range of vehicles in the one out. It's fantastic because it really does provide that big range of different cars. We've got the 4 classes. We've got a good number of like Honda Civics, the S2000, the Integras, the Toyota Starlet, little Lotus down there, BMW E30 of Mark Denton. And then we've still got the Audi RS3, the TCR cars. We've got Dennis Chapman and Debbie Chapman. Phil Hood, Mike Driver in the VW Golf GTI TCR car, lovely little car. Mazda RX-8, Porsche GT3 Cup cars, Ford Falcon, Ford Mustang. And we've got a good range of Porsche, McLaren, Chevy Cruze. Little Seat Super Copa there. So a lot of these cars at the back will be SS Cup, which is a series we run here. It's a bit like improved production have in Australia. So almost standard road cars, but with a few tweaks to them. Fun, exciting class of racing, close racing. So here they come around now, they're coming back onto the main straight. Safety car will pick them up. Oh, now there's car the 41 car having to start from the pit lane. So that's the Collins Mustang. So good to see it's at least going to be out there. But one of the problems he's got is that he's not going to have warm tyres. So he's got his work cut out. I can just hear it outside our caravan actually. I wonder what that was. Sure enough. So That's going to make it interesting. So in theory, well, in reality, this is the car that's leading the 1 hour championship at the moment. It won by a good amount in Tonga, and now it's going to have to start not just off the back, but actually from pit lane. So cold tyres, cold brakes. So, and then he's got 1 hour to get through the whole field. Now he's obviously a little bit quicker than some of these front runners, but you've still got to get past everyone else in the field to get to the front runners. So this is about to get exciting, fans. Safety cars picked them up. You can see he's got the lights on. They'll gather up 2 by 2, coming up to what we call casino, trying to get the whole pack to gather up close. We want them up close. It's time to turn the volume up, fans. Things about to get exciting. Still got the lights on. You'll be listening to the starter. The starter will be watching to make sure that the pack is really tight, and you can see that there, that great view. There's the Collins Mustang waiting in the pits. Let's keep our eye on that safety car. Okay, the lights are out, as I said before, so the safety car is going to come in this lap. Now what you'll see is he pulls away. Now Marco's in control of the pace, so he's got to keep everyone packed up. And you can see them there, 2 by 2, safety cars pulling away. The safety car will come into the pits. Okay, fans, time to strap into your seats, turn the volume up. Here they come, round onto the main straight. They'll be waiting for the green light, and then wait for the noise. Wait for the noise. They're waiting for the green light, waiting for the green light. Holding, holding, holding. And we're racing. Here we go. Whoa, that's a great start by the Mackenzie car. Look at them coming into turn 1. Hold your breath, hold your breath. Marco's fallen back into P2. He won't be too concerned about that. So it's still got a fair way to go. Just keep it clean, guys. Oh, and there's Russell Mackenzie's just giving him a clean set of heels, and he's away. He's got a great start. Marco's not going to let go though. Up into the hairpin. Good clean start by everyone. Just an array of Porsches followed by that McLaren coming up through. This is quite a tricky part of the track into the casino. This corner here just sweeps you out left, and you're not that far from the fence. If you get it wrong, it can get very wrong very quickly. Into the S's. This first right hand is a quick corner, but the left hander just is a little bit deceiving. It throws you out quite wide. Guys have got it under control. You'll see some dust come up though, because there will be a few people that haven't got their tyres quite as warm as they'd like to. And we're coming round for the first lap. Let's see what sort of times they've got. So Russell Mackenzie's up 1 position. Marco's down 1. Okay, opening lap with 29. Expect to see that come down a bit. The car to watch, of course, is going to be that Collins Mustang. There he is there. He's right on the back. He's already caught up. So he had a fairly big disadvantage. Okay, Marco's decided, no, you're too slow, Russell. I'm qualified 1 and I want to set the pace. So he's taken Russell into the hairpin there. Coming round into just that tricky part of the track into the carousel, casino. Yeah, Marco's just getting into a rhythm really nice and early. You can see the car looks beautiful, it's well set up. And Russell's probably quite happy just to say, okay, I'll follow you around for a bit. I'm not going to let you go, but I'll follow you around. Little McLaren there. A lot of Porsches in that little Chevy Corvette. Marco's got a good gap now, hasn't he? quite happy. Car looks great, sounds great, smooth out of there. Right down to that Chevy Cruise. Wow, Marco's pulled out a good gap now. What's his times looking like? Timing screens having a moment. Okay, 1:26.1, that's better. That's getting into a better race pace. We expect to see that or a little bit quicker. How's the okay, we're just settling into the race now, going quite nicely. Collins' car's up to 26 already. Okay. So, race is just calming down quite nicely. Let's, we're going to have a look at that start. Replay of the start. Here we go now. You can see them all gathered up. You can see the red lights on the left. If you watch on the left up top on that black sign, and then we're green, and you can see that Russell got a great start. In some ways a better position, even though P1 is down on the inside. You just get a lot smoother because that's the racing line, so there's not so much rubbish on there. So P1 in some ways is a little bit of a disadvantage here. But yeah, so Russell got the start, but Marco's taken it back quite nicely now, and he's opened up a gap of 2.5 seconds. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. This is not what we wanted to see. That's the Collins car. Now that's coming out of the yeses. It's actually in a bit of a dangerous position there because the cars sweep wide out of that corner. They're going to have to recover that car. I'd expect to see a safety car. I doubt whether they'll leave that there. It's just too risky, I think. So they've obviously got problems with that car. That's not going to get started again. So that really upsets the points table. Well, it doesn't upset it. It makes it very exciting and going to be a lot on for the third round. So I'm just interested to watch that they're going to leave that car there because it is actually a risky part of the track, believe it or not, because once you get off that last of the yeses onto that grass, it can all happen quite quickly. So yeah, I'd be surprised that they don't go out and recover it. But and if you're the driver, it's 56 minutes is quite a long time to sit out there. So yes, there we go. Safety car's on track. So they'll go and recover that. So that closes all that hard work of Marco's has just been gone out the window, and the cars will stack up again. Now we're not long enough into the race for them to be able to take their pit stop because the pits don't open until the 10-minute mark. So there's Two Pies. He's gone out to sort them out, do the recovery. So they'll have that car pulled in. We'll get Adam down in the pits, no doubt, to find out what's happened at some point during the race, hopefully. But yeah, so they're all under safety car. So these guys will still be going reasonably quick. They'll be aware of where the incident is on the track, but they'll be trying to go race pace everywhere else so they can just catch up, because laps under the safety car, if you're a slower car, are a bonus that gives you, because everyone's lapping at the same pace once you're behind the safety car. So we're 7.5 minutes in, and safety car's there holding everyone up. I'd say that position on the track coming out of Casino, they'll probably have at least one more lap under safety car. So lap under safety car, he's supposed to do 70 kilometres an hour. Two Pies has got him sorted out. They'll be coming down just about to pit entry They won't be able to let the cars go there. So one more lap under safety car. A lap under safety car is probably about 2 minutes, 1 minute 50 something. So plenty of time for everyone to catch up. There they go through there. Marco, Russell, Scotty, Martin, Dippy. So good number of Porsches at the front. Good, reliable, off-the-shelf race car, these things. Lovely little cars. There he goes, across the line. So another. Oh, it's going to be close, isn't it? We got 8. We're 8.5 minutes in. Now he's going to come round, and by the time he gets round, the pit window will actually be open. But I'd say the safety car will come in. I would doubt whether anyone will go, let's pit now and do our run around. Because it's still early days, and one thing which we probably shouldn't say is that safety cars breed safety cars. So there's a chance that this might not be the first time we see that Mobile One car out there leading these guys. So so a bit of action right at the start. It's all go. It's all go. Now I've got Kate Patton has just come in to the commentary box, so I'm going to have a word to Kate, and as coordinator of the South Island series. Okay, Kate, how are you going?
Hello, I'm good.
It's pretty exciting already.
It is very exciting.
A good clean start to the 1 hour race, but some issues, and obviously with the Collins car, it didn't get out for qualifying. Started from pit lane, and unfortunately has had some issues out there.
Yeah, they had gearbox problems, which means they didn't make qualifying, and they were rushing to get ready for the race. And I was stoked to see them when they made the late appearance, and they were super quick. And yeah, obviously the gremlin's not gone.
Oh dear, we don't like to see that. It's a pity, and it was because it was shaping up to be pretty exciting. Just very quickly, the lights are out on the safety car, so we're going to be racing again. Safety car will pull in. That will leave Marco again to take over race pace. Should see that pull away. He seems to be keeping up reasonably quick, interestingly enough. So he's anyway, he's a seasoned campaigner, so they'll be away again this time round. Safety cars into the pits, and we're green. Yep, we're green. So they're away again. So Kate, sorry. So a bit of action to start the 1 hour. A pity, because we were looking forward to watching that car try and make its way through the field, and I think it had got up to about 26th place.
Yeah, it already made up so many spots in only a couple of laps.
Yeah. So that's sad for those guys. Nick will obviously be out in the 3 hour though, so he still gets to do some racing today.
Yeah, it's great that he can get on the track still and go out in the 3 hour race.
Yep. So you're let's hear a wee bit about you in the Cerdex series. So what's your role now?
So I'm the series coordinator or secretary of Cerdex.
Right.
Took over last year from Chris Dunn, who did it for donkey's years before me.
Yeah, he's quite old, isn't he?
He's old. We shouldn't talk about that, should we, though? He'd get us in trouble.
Yeah, but he's not here, so it's okay, we can say it.
Yeah, I think it was like 15 years that he ran it for, so it was obviously big shoes to fill when I came in, but he's still here, he's still lingering, which is great, because there's a lot to learn. You know, obviously there's a lot involved in this series, but it's awesome. You take over a series that's already really successful. It makes it easier for you, you know?
Yeah, phenomenal. And the series has just been going from strength to strength, so congratulations to you, because as much as you had big boots to fill, you've done a fantastic job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So it's a real blessing.
It's a great series, though. I mean, you know, great people involved. It's a great formula. It's just nice and easy, and it's great just to see cars on the track having a great time.
Yeah, and you know, considering what New Zealand's been through, the world's been through with so much uncertainty, to have 42 cars we've had in the 1 hour, and how many we got in the 3 hour?
26, I think.
26 is great commitment.
Yeah. And we're super pleased to be back level 1 as well. Level 2, while we were also, stoked to be able to go racing, it still was a bit weird. We're a real social bunch, and having to social distance was, odd for us. But back here, back at level 1, and it's great to see the grids are so full.
Yep. And and great to be at Ruapuna. It's for some reason in the middle of or the beginning of spring, Ruapuna seems to pull out a scorcher of a day. I mean, we're 16 degrees at the moment. It's going to get warmer, but I remember last year it was like 31 or 32 degrees.
I mean, we were here at the start of November, which it shouldn't be that hot, and it was stinking hot.
Yeah,
I mean, it feels a lot hotter than 16 out there as well.
Yeah, it sure does. And obviously warm in the caravan here. So, but out on the track, it's business as usual. The pit lane will be open, but no one's going there yet. So it's still early days.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, the safety car went out and everyone was looking at their clocks going, is it open yet, 'Cause give it a couple more minutes, I think we would have seen a lot of cars in pit lane, but now they'll hold their breath, I think.
Yeah, I think if there'd been one more lap under safety car, it would have been a interesting strategic play to do your pit. But we'll see. Let's hope there's not another safety car, because it can swing the race one way or the other, can't it?
Yeah. Safety cars are good. I mean, it bunches the field up, but it obviously, if a safety car's out, it means someone's not having a very good day as well. So there's that side of things to think about.
That's true. So the track's looking great. Seems to be plenty of grip.
Yeah.
The guys are happy down in the pits.
Seems to be. Everyone seems pretty relaxed. Everyone's just sitting and looking nice and cool, calm and collected. It's awesome.
So one of the, a couple of the great things is, the support that this series gets, and we've talked a wee bit about Carters, and amazing that we've got $1,000 worth of tyres to give away from
definitely.
Carters today on the live stream for people listening anywhere in the country. We're going to announce how you do that later on, probably during the 3-hour race. But there's other companies that support this series. Can you tell us a bit about those?
Yeah, so we've got Allied Petroleum, who are a series sponsor as well, and under normal circumstances they put on a welcome function at Tiratonga that's a fantastic evening full of great food and drink and speakers and stuff, and we were really gutted that we didn't get to do that this year. So next year will be great again, but they're a sponsor. We've got Michelin and Pirelli on board as our tyre sponsors. They support all the teams. They're always so busy, making sure the teams have their tyres ready to go for the races and stuff like that.
The effort those guys put in is quite something else. Having been down to the track, we're seeing quite a bit of dust there from something. The effort they put in. I mean, they've got a couple of big trucks that arrived. They set up basically a tyre shop in the pit lane with all the tyre gear, which looks like pretty heavy equipment, and they're there every round.
Yeah, and these guys, both Michelin and the Pirelli teams come from Auckland, so it's not just a case of showing up on Thursday. They're leaving at the start of the week, coming all the way down, and here on Thursday, and they've got lots of guys with lots of tyres.
Yep. So I mean, we've got Michelin and Pirelli. There's obviously a reason why they're here, because their tyres are really good, right? And a lot of these guys run these.
Fantastic. I mean, we're looking at the Wadsworth car on the screen at the moment, and they've got Michelin sitting on their car. They're just great tyres that last a long time as well and give you a whole lot of grip. So it seems to be the preferred tyre for the teams out there.
So it's a performance thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this looks like the first of those pit stops. And Allied that have been supporters for quite some time, and the Allied fuel, and so people when you're driving around the country, we know that you've got a choice of places that you can get your fuel from. If you love motorsport,
absolutely,
choose
support
Allied.
them.
But the other thing about Allied is that I've found that I'm very price aware now, and they're quite competitive.
Absolutely, and they've got a lot of just fuel stops as well, and they're always the cheaper ones to find. I know Tamaru's got one just opened recently, so they're getting around the country more as well, which is great to see, so that they're always accessible for you.
But it's not always about price as well. It's about, hey, these guys support this series, and if you like motorsport, because those guys are quite frankly, they're a bit petrol-headed, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, they are, because they sell petrol, but they love cars,
Definitely.
So when you fuel up at Allied, you are still supporting a lot of motorsport, which is why we appreciate them also as sponsors.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
who else have we got there? We've got some smaller sponsors.
Yeah, so we've got Harris Race Radio as well. So Rex
Right.
Harris supplies all the teams free of charge with race radio.
Right.
And we've found that to be great over the years. Race radio just means the teams know straight away what's happening on the circuit. It
Yep.
works really well for safety cars. It's a big safety thing. There's no caught out sort of surprise reactions.
Right.
Works really well if there's penalties and stuff. It means people can come in straight away, deal with whatever they need to deal with and back out.
Yep.
It works. I guess the best thing I've seen it for is like the meatball flag, the mechanical flag. You might get this flag and go, well, what's the problem? In race radio, straight away you can tell them.
Right.
Like you've got a bit hanging off the back of your car,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's awesome to have Rex on board, providing
Yeah.
all of that for our teams.
Because that communication, when you're in the car, whether it's the 1 hour or the 3 hour, is you get quite focused, right? And so
Absolutely.
it's easy to drive past the flag, which you probably shouldn't do. But that's that moment in time. But having that in your ear, communication, you can remain focused. So so that's really critical for these guys.
It's quite, I think, calming too. I mean, if you're going to get a drive-through for any reason and you don't know what it's for, if someone can tell you straight away what it's for, you can just kind of deal with that and move on rather than drive around stewing, why have I been given this drive-through penalty?
Yep. So you can get rid of all the naughty words before you get to the pits.
Absolutely. You can get a bit of time for composure before you come into the pits
that's right.
and serve your penalty.
Right, we're going 3 wide here, are we? No. Russell.
Yeah, it looks like Russell and the O'Donnell Dippy car are having quite a good battle there.
They are, yeah. Because Marco's got 12 seconds, nearly 13 seconds on these guys. So he's
flying.
He's flying, isn't
Yeah. I mean, Marco, he loves this circuit, he's done a whole lot of laps here, but so is Russell. And Russell's so fast in qualifying as well.
he? Yeah. Interestingly, because, as much as I was really looking forward to seeing that Mustang out there with 960 horsepower, which is confidential, so just keep it secret, everyone. Okay.
It's just between us.
Just between us. Yeah. This track was always going to move the things towards the Porsches a bit. The technical part of the track, these cars are a little bit more suited to all of this stuff. Where the Mustang is like,
they seem to stick to the circuit very well
they do,
as well.
Yeah. Yep. And so we've got Allied, we've got Harris Radios, we've got Michelin and Pirelli.
And Pirelli. Oh, who's that off? Oh, that's Robert.
In the little Lotus.
Yeah, Robert Jaya. He
He's,
seems to be taking the long way around that corner.
The second time I think he's been through that bit of grass today. So he's coming
in.
Let's hope he's just...
He's had a few troubles in that car, which is really a shame to see.
Okay.
He's been going fine this weekend though, so I really hope it's just a moment that he's going to compose himself from and go out again.
Yeah, let's hope so. Because it's great to see those different cars out there, And he's competing in a class as well, so, as much as he might look like he's well down the field, the race is going on elsewhere. Okay, so he's into pit lane, so they're going to have a...
Yeah, is he going to do a driver change? That's the question.
Having a chat to him saying... Okay, there's Tim Dossett in the Carter's car. He's come in. That's quite early for Tim. I'm a bit surprised. They're not...
It doesn't look like he's getting out either.
No, he's not looking rushed, is he?
Yeah, I know Tim had some troubles at Tonga, and they've been fighting with that car a little bit, which is a shame because he's a front-running A car.
Yeah. Okay, he's going back out again.
He didn't do a pit stop, driver change, did he though? Like a runaround.
Not that we saw, so we might have just caught the end of that where he'd already got back in.
Hopefully.
So hopefully. Or maybe they chose the 1 minute stop. Not sure.
Yeah, no,
So
I think he
keep an
was.
eye on
I
that.
think he is a runaround, but
Okay.
hopefully we caught the end of that.
So the runaround thing, if you're going to stop and stay there, you have to notify them.
Yeah.
That's your, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Cool. Okay. So then we've got who else have we got? We've got Endless Brakes.
Yeah, so we've got Mike from Endless Brakes. That's been a long time supporter of the series. He gives away 5 $250 vouchers every Friday function for us for that to spend on his products, which is pretty awesome.
That is really awesome. So his products, mostly focused towards race products. aren't they?
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
he's a specialist race.
Yeah, he's also Pro Sport Auto, so I think the vouchers this year can be used there as well. That's
Okay.
his branding.
Right. Okay. Great.
But he's also pretty switched on, and he's always here. I mean, he works for the Hammer team and their team, but he's always happy to provide advice and help and stuff. So it's great having him actually at the circuits as well.
It's part of that. You know, Chris and I talked about the camaraderie and the social side of things, but you know, the amazing thing I've found is that the sponsors even will give you help. You know, like we've run a different branded tyre, not a Bridgestone or a Pirelli, and the Bridgestone guys are happy to change tyres.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You know, it's awesome. So they don't, as much as they're obviously going to promote their product and they're supporting their product,
they just want to help as well.
They just want to help.
Yeah.
You know,
they want to see guys out there doing the best they can with the best products.
Absolutely. Which is fantastic. So who else have we got? We got a new one?
So we've got a new one for this year. Just come on board this round. So it's Ernest Workwear. So they supply a whole range of workwear that's pretty well tailored to the motorsport industry. They've got the aprons that are pretty popular, which I see a lot of guys in the pits wearing. It's a great way, I guess, of protecting your gear. And they've actually set up here at Ruapuna, and they're running a giveaway during today where you just go and see their tent, sign up on the app, and they're going to give away some free merchandise, which is pretty cool. So if you are here at the circuit, go find the Ernest Workwear 1 hour team and enter that giveaway.
Okay, so this is the Gibson and Booth car, and is that Paul getting into the car? I think it might be.
Yeah, looks like it.
Quite early on. Oh no, what are we in? We're 24 minutes in.
Yeah, we're almost halfway. It's going really fast.
Quick, isn't it? So these guys, I think they changed a gearbox overnight.
Yeah, they quite late in the game yesterday had gearbox problems, but they've done a whole change and it seems to be running well, they say.
Yeah. They're quite experienced at changing gearboxes in that car.
They are getting very used to that, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Now, I mean, they'll be interesting to see because Paul was a previous karting champion. He's no slug. So it's going to be interesting to watch their timing and their race to see how they go. They finished well, I think, second in
second
in Teratong.
Oh no!
Who's this? We've got some flames under that. Right.
Is that the Will Taylor car? Or
is that the Will Taylor car?
Or is that the other one?
No, I think it's the same car. He's getting
99,
out.
yeah.
99.
Oh, that's such a shame.
That'll be a
maybe a safety car.
I think. Yeah, as soon as there's fire guys out on track, that's they had
big trouble at Teratong
with smoke and stuff.
And they did an engine swap late in the game. I think Thursday they only had the car ready, so that's super gutting to see that.
That is gutting.
But if this means a safety car, this is going to be busy in the pits.
It's going to get busy in the pits, so that will work. And the safety car's got the lights on, waiting. That car will want to get out before they do. You would think the safety car. It's going to get busy in the pits, and those guys that pitted before.
Oh no, that's Russell McKenzie.
That's Russell McKenzie. Has he just spun that? The safety car lights on.
Oh no, Russell was going so fast.
Okay, I'm wondering if we can get a replay of that. I'm just talking to race director now. His car's going. Is he just...
He might have just lost it on the outside of that track.
Well, there may have been some oil on the track from that fire.
Yeah.
So now the pits are going to get busy. We've got that little McLaren in.
And this is pretty unreal for a safety car to be right in the middle of the,
Absolutely.
of the race. It's
right
26 minutes in, halfway during the race, and there's a safety car. It's almost perfect for all the teams.
Yeah, yep. There's the BB GTR.
They'll be pleased that they're going pretty well. They didn't finish at Teratong, and they're always contenders for the Class B title, C title. Sorry.
Yep. There's Adam, our pit reporter, running. That's a sight to see. Marco Schelp, the leader, is in the pit.
Oh wow!
Look,
it's pretty much
busy.
Everyone.
Everyone's in. So now this can go one way or the other. It depends on how long they take to get rid of that car, and depending on if you've pitted it early, how far away you are from the safety car. That's Marco going back out again by the look of it.
Goodness gracious, isn't it busy?
It's busy, isn't it? There's Danny Whiting.
You've just got to be so careful as well. There's just people everywhere, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, it gets a wee bit risky, to be fair.
I mean, the rules are now if you're running around your car, you've got to run towards the traffic.
Correct, so you can see what's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not enough parking spaces. This is like pack and save car park on a Thursday night. So
there's not a lot of movement either. It seems we're a bit stagnant down there.
Yeah. So taking the chance to check tyre pressures.
It doesn't look like there's any damage on that car, so maybe it was just a spin.
Wow, so there's a bit of news. Jordan Michaels is now taking the lead of the race.
Has he been in?
He probably hasn't been in, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, he might look to come in this next lap, I'm thinking.
Okay, so we're going to have to watch that. So the question is what car is the safety car picked up?
Yeah, that's the hardest part, is when the whole field comes in, who does the safety car pick up?
Exactly. And
but I think in this respect, the safety car got out nice and early before all the cars came in.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, it doesn't look like... Well, there's the safety car crossing in front of us now.
They've got Tim Dossett behind it.
Tim Dossett behind it. Still cars coming into the pits.
So if Tim's behind the safety car, he must have done his run around before, otherwise he would have come in. So that's good to see.
Yeah, yeah. So that's possibly gone against him, because look, those cars coming out of the pits now.
Yeah. It's just that bad luck, isn't it? You just can't plan for these things.
Yeah, you can't. It can be amazingly good for you, or it can really go against you. So, but it is what it is. And
here's Jordan. He's come in
now. Yep. So Tim will relish the opportunity to lead the whole field.
Absolutely. Especially
he'll
on the restart, he'll love it.
Yeah, he'll be hoping the photographers are taking plenty of shots of him.
Yeah, capture him in number one spot.
Capturing him in number one spot. Got the Carter's brand on there, which don't forget, we're giving away $1,000 worth of Carter's tyres later today. Thank you, Carter's.
Yeah, it's cool to see a Carter's car up at that number one spot, isn't it?
It's good. Yep.
There's our new competitor this weekend in the V8 Ute.
Yes.
And the second behind the safety car as well.
Yep. So that was just some builder that was driving by and decided to call in and do some racing? No.
Pretty much by the... I mean, it was more of a midweek inquiry of, hey, can I come racing? It was absolutely...
Fantastic. So good to see. So is that a vehicle that's been running in the Ute series?
Yeah, I think it's the only South Island competitor of the NZ V8. So he's been up there doing that series, and I think that finished up at the last North Island round.
Okay.
They had the V8 Utes there.
Oh, there's Debbie Chapman.
Yep, doing a run around.
No, haven't had a look. Who's
looks like Marco's obviously still had enough laps to hold the lead.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing, the safety car picks up the next car on track, not necessarily the next position. Right. So while it shows Tim behind the safety car, it doesn't necessarily mean he was the next car on track. The next in the order.
Yeah. So I see the V8 supercars are changing the rules around behind the safety car. Have you caught up?
Yeah, I've sort of saw it earlier in the week. It sounds like they'll wave by cars that are laps behind. So I think in this situation, Tim would have been waved on.
Yeah. Which in this situation you could say, well, there's some merit to that, because he's the loser.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see.
Oh, we're green again. Look at that.
We're green again. Okay, safety car was in.
I guess it was bizarre because half the cars were still in their pits, so there wasn't a big trail.
Absolutely, and look how spread the field is. So we didn't see that big snake of vehicles up behind the safety car.
It sort of just crept up on us.
Yeah, and so credit to the marshals. They've cleared that car away, sorted out the fire. So hopefully that's just a bit of oil that was under the car and no damage. The driver was out of the car, so that's the main thing. That he's out safe, and we're back racing. And we're just after half time. We're at 32 minutes, so it's 28 minutes to go, and it's we haven't had a chance to think really. it's a bit of a dream race.
I mean, look at that best lap time from Marco, 1:25.379. That is super fast. I mean, I see the Derricks are now up in second place, and they're 2 seconds a lap slower on their best lap time.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
It's cool to see the Derricks up there, though. I mean, they had a third place at Teretonga.
Absolutely.
This will be great for them in the points.
Absolutely.
whole field looks to be a bit shaken up after all those pits.
So I'm just looking at Jordan though.
Yeah, it shows Jordan up in third place.
Third place. Surely he. Did we see him in the pits? Yeah, we saw him in the pits.
Yeah, he came in.
So he's come in.
So maybe he's managed to actually come out and jump into that third spot.
Well, there was. I noticed some cars coming out that were just in front of the safety car as it was coming up the. Because didn't it used to be that pit exit closed when the safety car passed the pit entry?
You could be testing me on that. I'm not sure actually. Yeah.
I think that used to be the rule. Okay, obviously it's not now.
Apparently not.
Because that was always one of the frustrations, is you could be held up in pit lane because the safety car had come past pit entry.
That's a really good point, yeah. I'll have to check on that later.
Well, yeah, that might be, it might still be a rule and might be of some controversy.
So I know Chris is up in race control, so I'm sure he'll be questioning that if it is against what the rule book says.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Jordan on screen there.
So there's Jordan on screen there. Let's hope we can stay with Jordan for a bit, and because Jordan next round is going to be teamed up with
Hayden Patton in Hayden's Hyundai TCR car. He'll still be doing the 1 hour in the Honda,
right? And
then in the 3A he's going to jump in with Hayden, which would be one of Hayden's first circuit racing experiences.
Fantastic. So there's a couple of people here in racing that are reasonably new to circuit racing as well, as much as they've done other motorsport. So we've got, of course, in the hard racing, we've got
we've got Darren Kelly, who's a drifter by day. So he seems to have figured out the circuit racing pretty fast, though. I'd have to ask him later what he prefers.
Yeah, the grip or no grip, and and same with Hayden. Is it turn in or turn out then turn in?
He's probably going to be quite frustrated that he can't throw it around the corner as much as he is used to.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's really looking forward to it, and from what Jordan is saying, he's already competitive and he's already wanting to give it a good go.
And it's going to be great for Jordan, because Jordan's the current Formula 1600 champion, is that right?
Yeah.
And so, the experience of teaming up with someone like Hayden, regardless, is going to be, fantastic.
And there's a lot to learn.
Such a nice young fella.
Yeah, not just on track stuff. It's more about how to present yourself and give yourself, the best chance for those opportunities.
Yeah.
And obviously Hayden's pretty good at that as well. So I imagine there's a lot that Jordan will learn.
Yeah.
And vice versa. I'm sure Hayden's going to learn a whole lot about car racing. He's been messaging me during the week saying, how do you do pit stops? How does that all work?
What's that about?
Yeah, so he's certainly being thrown in the deep end, but I think Jordan will steer him in the right direction.
Yeah, and great for motorsport fans, because as we are here, thanks to Heart of Racing, we're streaming live. Timaru levels in 2 weeks' time.
Yep.
Streaming live again.
Yeah, the Heart of Racing have committed to the rest of the season, so it's awesome.
Amazing.
People at home can sit and watch the action and not feel like they're part of it, which is incredible. So we're really thankful for that opportunity.
Yep. From around the country, around the world, you can tune in on Facebook and on YouTube. I assume South Island Endurance Series has got the link on there.
Yeah, I think we're streaming live at the moment.
Facebook
I think
page.
In conjunction with the Fast Files, it pops up on our page.
Right, great. So So Heart of Racing, new team this year.
Yeah.
So and a little bit. Hold on. Sorry, I had to cough. I didn't want to cough to the whole world. So a little bit about Heart of Racing. Gabe, who's up in Auckland, is from America, and he's done okay for himself. This guy. Hey? He's,
seems to, yeah.
Yeah, and
he seems to be very successful in his life, and he's
and he's sewing it back, and I have huge respect for that. That he's not just going racing, but he's putting on this he's supporting this stream so that we can all share in it.
Well, I
but
mean,
he's also pouring into their charity.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
The Starship.
They've got an entire car that they could chuck lots of sponsorship on, and they're not interested. They just want to have their branding, and they want all the funding to go to Starship, and that's incredible.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Alex and the team aren't New Zealand based, but they want to give their money to Starship, and that's just incredible.
Yep. So so huge respect, because as much as we get to see Gabe and he's successful, but that path to success is not always easy.
No, it's a hard fought path.
I'm
that's
sure,
for sure.
and I don't know, but I can imagine there was times when he's been wondering, why am I doing this? It's all too hard. Why am I working 20 hours a week? Why do I have to have staff? And this is a headache, and I'm struggling here. And sometimes, is there going to be enough money? Because that's what business is really like. And the fact that he's stuck at it, and when he's successful, he's remained grounded. This guy, and he goes, I want to give back to. So huge respect for this guy.
And you hope he's reaping the rewards of all of his hard work too,
Well, he deserves to be blessed, right? Because
Absolutely.
he's happy to bless each other, bless others, and it's a no commitment. There's no conditions to it. It's just this is the character of this person. So he actually fits in quite well to the South Island Endurance Series.
Definitely.
There's a bunch of good buggers.
Yeah,
it's
fantastic people involved in this series.
So it's such a blessing to have Gabe involved in harder racing, doing what they do. You've earned my respect. I've never met you, but welcome to New Zealand. If you choose to stay, I'd support that, because I think you're
a great addition to the country.
Just a great addition to the country, and having your team here is such a blessing for us here as well. So if you're living around Christchurch, you've still got time to come down to Ruapuna and see that beautiful Aston Martin that's going to be out there shortly.
1:15's the start time for the 3-hour race. There's a lunch break in between, so heaps of time. I think the hardest part will be trying to find a space on the bank to park up your car, because
it's starting to
there is a
up.
lot of people here. It's so awesome to see.
Yeah. So I've actually got some Heart of Racing stuff to give away, and we've got a phone number actually, but you're not going to be able to ring. You need to text, and the number is somewhere. Where is it?
What are we giving away?
Well, what do you want to give away? I've got 5 Heart of Racing caps there. 027 396 9226. And if you can text me the 2 drivers of the Heart of Racing car, their first names, the first 5 people will get a Heart of Racing cap.
Awesome. And you're wearing them at the moment, and they look very smart.
They do.
They are cool caps.
I mean, it's obviously stylish, because it's improved my whole look.
Yeah, you look great. When do we say that?
When do we say that? We're reading it. 027 396 9226. Text me the first names of the 2 drivers of the Heart of Racing, and the first 5 text messages through will get a Heart of Racing cap sent to them.
And if you're here at the circuit, I'm sure you can come and pick it up yourself too. Do we have them here with us?
Yep, I've got them right
Beautiful.
here. And I've got more stuff to give away as the day goes by. And the first text messages through. Yes. The second one's through. Yes.
Oh, congratulations, guys.
So what will happen is I will ring these people tonight and get your address and get your cap. So 3 to go.
Do you want to do that number just one more time, I think?
I'm just going to bring it up. 027 396 9226. Who are the 2 drivers in the Heart of Racing Aston Martin? 3, 4, 1 to go. Come on, everyone. There's going to be plenty more prizes if you miss out here anyway.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
5 done.
Oh, look.
Oh, someone's just missed the
it's gone crazy
deadline.
Now. It's gone crazy. That's okay.
If you're smart too, you might save that number for later on for all the other goodies.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. It's definitely a good idea because we've got $1,000 worth of Tyres to give away.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And that's any kind of tyres. It's not, that's not race tyres around. That's, that's for your road car.
Yeah. So interesting, just while you're here, because I'm going to talk about this a little bit later as well, because we've 42 minutes. We've got a wee bit of time. Carter's Tyres, they're right throughout the country.
Yeah, they've got over 40 branches that's across the North Island and the South Island.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about them is that it's family-owned business, New Zealand family-owned business, and it's a name that's sort of been popping up, a bit, more and more. But they've been established for quite some time, and they do a lot of tyres to industry, and to some of the big industry, and that's been a lot of their business, which tells me that that big industry can rely on them. Right?
Absolutely.
It's not just a family business, but they obviously have quality, and they have advice and product that
and just great service,
great service, and so so that's important when it comes to just for your own car.
Absolutely.
Because it's not always about price, even though I'm sure that the tyre market's so competitive, so you'd expect the price is still going to be okay. But the most important thing is you're going to get good advice, and you're going to get good service, and it's a family local business, supports motorsport, which we love.
Absolutely.
And actually great people.
Yeah, fantastic people. I mean, so it's Gary Carter from obviously Carter's Tyre Services is the main man. I know his son Matt is now the CEO of the company. Right. Gary's stepped back a little bit. Yep. And then there's Dwayne, Matt's brother as well. And Matt's not here this weekend, unfortunately, but Dwayne's driving the car. And Gary's here, always here supporting as well.
He's driving with Rowan Murphy's old man, isn't he?
He is. Old Greg Murphy.
Old Greg Murphy.
Yeah, Greg just decided that he'd want to give this a go, jump in the Mercedes. I think he was doing low 20s in qualifying, so he's quickly tuned up to how the car works, which is wicked.
Right.
And he's having a lot of fun. I think from what Gary was saying, he loves the car. Might be hard to get him out of there, I think.
That's okay. So it's going to be great to see Greg out there. Because as much as, Greg, we haven't seen Greg on the screen racing for probably some time. He still does actually a lot of laps around the place because he does a lot of driver training. And,
correct.
And he's sewing into motorsport through what he does day to day still.
And he was doing a lot of gravel stuff for a while there too.
Yeah. So he knows his way around this track. There's no issue there, that's for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see him in that lovely Carter's Mercedes. So $1,000 worth of Carter's tyres to give away. If you're thinking about tyres, even if you don't win the 1,000, go into Carter's and have a talk to them, because if you jump online, have a look at their website, you'll find a Carter's outlet close to you. Go in and see them and say, Victor from the South Island Endurance commentary team sent me. I don't know why you'd say that, but it just felt like it'd be fun.
Maybe that's a red flag for them.
The
God, Victor.
They'll look at you and go, so? That's okay. Yeah, so go into Carter's and
but if you are going though as a supporter of the South Island Endurance Series, tell them that, because this is
absolutely.
We want them to know that as much as they support us, we are supporting them just right, right back
absolutely.
At them.
Yep. And so I mean, these are the supporters of the. We've talked a bit about the sponsors and that of South Island Endurance Series, but also when you're watching these cars. A lot of these cars are, different size teams, and they've got stickers on them of businesses that support motorsport as well. So when you're out there making your purchases, just bear in mind, those stickers you see on cars do support the sport that we love, and it's worth talking to them if you're buying those sorts of goods or services that you've seen at the track.
Yeah, I mean, most of these guys, their cars are full of stickers, which means they're full of people who are out there backing them up and getting them on the track. And we wouldn't have this, this full field of cars if it wasn't for those companies. So why not support them, By supporting them, you're supporting us, and you get to have this fantastic racing to watch.
Yep. Right, we're down to the last 12 and a half minutes.
Yeah, and I imagine everyone has pitted with that safety car in the middle of the race there, but the pit window does have just over 2 minutes remaining in that, so if you haven't pitted, you have to have your pit done before that 15-minute mark.
So if someone misses it, there's a penalty of some sort?
Yeah, you don't get your classification. You have to do a pit between the 10 and 15-minute window, and if you don't, then...
So you don't get a drive-through or any other time penalty? Or
I think it's a you're out.
You're out?
Yeah, I'd have to double-check that, but I don't think anyone out there is risking it, that's for sure.
No.
So it's not worth an hour worth of effort just to not classify at the end of it.
Exactly. So look at the variety of cars, that little starlet coming across the line.
It looks like, looking at the top 10, it looks like everyone's sort of shaken back up to how it was looking before the safety car.
Yeah.
I see Jordan Mickles is now in 7th, which is awesome to see. I mean, he's in the mix of all these Class D cars and his TCR car.
Yep.
And going super fast. What's his 129? That's quick for a Class B car.
Yeah, well, quicker than that little McLaren behind him. So when we talk about McLarens, we think of supercars and speed, and there's Jordan out there, just showing it a clean set of heels, and that comes down to a lot of driver skill.
Just looking at the list as well, Jordan is the first non-Porsche in our list.
Right.
Helping us get a couple of other manufacturers there in the top 10.
Is the some of the other class runners? We've got
Bruce Davidson. Looks like he's leading Class C at the moment.
Yep.
And then the Williams.
Not far behind him.
No,
8 seconds.
This is their first round this year as well. I know they've been trying to do a bit more, but the car's been giving them a little bit of grief, so it's great to see they've got a great result coming out of this race.
Yeah, and that's Kitch, or is that...
yeah, are we able to see who's in the other classes?
Yep, we can. Let me just...
Because that Class A battle is definitely probably the one that's going to be most contested over this weekend.
Okay, well, Class A looks
like the Gibson Booth is leading that one.
Yep.
With Kitching and Bartlett behind there. Where's Mark Meadows, though? He might be further up the field. Maybe we missed him.
No?
Why can't we see him?
So in the Class A is the Gibson Booth car, followed by Kitching Bartlett, then the Scott Bolt car, Tim Dossett, Paul Martin.
Oh, he just came into the pits before that car. Now he's back in again. That's not good to see.
Is he in, or was it a drive-through? Drive-through.
Oh yeah, drive-through penalty for cars 181, 997 and 144.
Ooh.
Maybe that was maybe it was red at pit lane, and maybe that's what it's for.
Yeah, it's in the pit.
Oh, okay, so Mark's got some troubles then. Oh, there he is on screen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not looking good, is it?
No.
Because Mark's I believe he's the reigning Class A champion, and we thought this weekend would be his to win, so that's really gutting to see him in the pits there. Right.
So that really opens things up a lot for the whole series, doesn't it?
I'm just noting those drive-through penalties were for 32 minutes into the race, so I'm wondering if that was what we thought about. Maybe it was red at the end of pit lane, and they went anyway.
Well, yeah. So there was about 3 cars that pulled out just in front of and maybe. I'm
thinking that's what those drive-through penalties are for.
Wow, look, that means I might be a commentator that knows a few things. I'm not saying that's the case. It's just throwing it out there as a possibility. So there's that, or of course there's also a speed limit in pit lane.
Yeah.
And so they have a radar gun down there.
Yeah, so that could be another thing of potentially what went wrong. It's 40 k's an hour in the fast lane, and they are strict on it too because it's another big safety issue.
Absolutely, and some cars tend to hit the go pedal a wee bit early, so they may have got pinged on that. It's definitely around that window of time when the pit.
Yeah, it's where the safety car was. It just depends on what the issue is.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, we've got safety car out again. Now, the safety car is letting a few cars pass.
So he's trying to pick up Marco, isn't he?
Trying to pick up Marco. There he is there. So those 3 or 4 cars that got past.
Oh no! Just after we spoke about the Williams team.
Oh dear.
Oh no! Is that commentator's curse? We were just talking about how they were second in Class C.
I think you mentioned them. I'm not going to take any credit for that.
I feel really bad because they also spoke about the Mustang on our Facebook page, I think a lap before they went off, so maybe it's me, maybe I need to go.
No, come on. Right, so the rescue team are out there real quick. Now that's looking like, where is that?
It's hard to tell, is it?
I think that's over.
Is it at the top of the...
Fulton Hogan, isn't it? Is it just after turn 1?
Yeah. Now there's under 7 minutes to go now, so that probably means I have to go and start getting some things ready.
Thank you so much for coming in and having a chat.
We'll see everyone on the grid for the Parc Ferme afterwards, where we celebrate the 1, 2, 3, and
so they'll be finishing and all gridding up.
Yeah, they'll all go
grid.
onto the starting grid. Where there'll be champagne to spray around, but there won't be if I don't get there and keep that organised.
So you're going to go and do that. The safety cars out there are going to bunch everyone up.
And I'll come back for the 3-hour.
Okay, look forward to seeing you then. Thanks so much. Okay, that's Kate. She's off to the grid to get ready for the first, second, and third. Yes, that's looking like that's just after turn 1. So something's gone wrong with that car. That's not oh no, it's after Fulton Hogan there. So what was previously related to as pothole. So it can be a bit challenging on some cars because you can it's got a real dip in the track and it can put a bit of load on things. So I haven't seen the comment, but I just got a message. Perry Scarf is watching from Australia. Perry, you right, mate? Got a few shrimps on the barbecue over there, have you? All set up. Wish you were here. Where's your commitment, man? Right, let's have a look at the the leaderboard there. So we've got Marco's. He's pretty much led from the start so far. We've got the Derek Porsche behind, Martin Dippy, Scott O'Donnell and Alan Dippy, and Russell McKenzie. Russell McKenzie's dropped back 3 places. You know, the Derek car's up 4 places. They'll be pretty happy with that. And, you know, the other benefit Marco's got here, which you can see, is the safety car picks up the leader, but every other car that's behind the leader, when we're under yellow flags, they can't pass anyone. So he's got a bit of traffic between him and second place. So he's got a bit of a buffer there. So where he was at risk of losing that 14 seconds of lead that he made up, he's still got some of that protected because of the cars that are between him and the Derek car in second place. So we'll keep an eye on the safety car's lights. Will go out just after the first of the S's here. So he's going to come around Casino, and at the next right hander you'll see the safety car lights go out if we're racing. So yep, the lights are out. I'm hearing the lights are out. Yeah, the lights are out. So now Marco controls the pace. So he's supposed to stay at the same pace that the safety car was at, and then he'll come up round the big sweeper, and then there'll be green lights and it'll be all go. So the car to watch, of course, will be the Derek car, because they've got a bit of traffic to try and get past and try and make the most of being caught up in this safety car. So Marco's already got a fair amount of pedal down. Yeah, he's got it up to full noise. We're green, we're racing. There he goes, across the start finish line. How much time's he got? Just looking at the timing board here, I've got that benefit. Gee, the gap's quite big, I think. It's just taking a minute for the timing board to catch up, but Marco's got a clean set of heels. He's away. He's out through that icon, coming up to the hairpin. Look at that. Look at that. Wow, he lost half of his lead, 7 seconds. He had 14, but 7 seconds, he's still pretty comfortable. It's coming through that tricky part of the infield. Car looks very well set up. It's just looking smooth. Around Casino. Tends to throw you out to the left there. Got to just keep off that rumble strip. It's a wee bit of grip, but it can let go and bite you. There's a bit of traffic there for those front runners to get through. Looking busy. The safety cars closed up all the gaps, so it's looking busy. We've just got to be very careful with only a few minutes to go. What do we got? We're at 58. We've got one more lap, I'd say. Oh, we might get 2 laps in. He's crossed the line. This could be 2 laps in this. I don't think the last lap board is out yet. So he's doing one. Yeah, he's two. This will be the second to last lap. So he's just got to keep a cool head, bring that car home. He's got 9 seconds on the Derek car, so he's driving incredibly well. Another 7 seconds back to the Martin Dippy car. These guys won't want to be doing anything too crazy. Although the Martin Dippy and the Alan Dippy car, there's not much between them, so there could be want to keep his wits about him, keep one eye looking in the mirrors. Be some camaraderie there, I'm sure, a bit of competition on the track. They'll be coming around now. Just having trouble getting past that McLaren. Coming up to the sweeper, back onto the home straight for the last lap. The last lap board should be out. It's driven incredibly well, very well put together race strategy. Put it on pole with a good lap, and he's driven from start to finish like a champion. Very, very deserved position. Just keeping it calm, round turn 1. Just rolls out to the side a bit there. There's a wee bit of kink in the road there before you go through the Icon, Fulton Hogan, and what was the dipper. You see him come up through it. There you see that dip. You know, you can see it's can be quite hard if you hit it wrong. Up to the hairpin. Man, he's wide there. Keep it together, Marco. You're well ahead. This is right-hander, which you've got to get it right. If you don't get that corner right, the rest of this infield becomes very slow. So you have to brake a whole lot harder for that right-hander and get the car set up so it's more close to the middle of the track than letting it wind out too far, because you want to be able to power on down through the left-hander. It's coming through Casino there, is into the right and the left-hander of the S's. It's coming up, race finish. He's got a ton of real estate behind him. Driven absolutely beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. Look at that. he's weaving backwards and forwards. There's the checkered flag. Give him a hand. Well done, Marco. Great win. A great win. A bit of an eventful race. Ben and Gary Derrick come in second. Well done. Come up 4 places. Martin Dippy 3rd. Scotty O'Donnell and Alan Dippy 4th. Russell McKenzie 5th. They're the top 5. Danny Whiting, Jordan Mickles 7th in that TCR car. It's a great race. We've got someone with some problems coming down pit straight. Is that oil? Someone let go. In the little McLaren, in 8th place, Chris Nichols, Bruce Davidson, round out your top 10. Wow! So that's the 1 hour endurance race. It was a bit of a sprint, wasn't it? Bit eventful at the start, with the Collins Mustang having some issues. which was sad to see because that had the potential to make things very exciting. You can see it's pretty hot in the car. Marco's got the door open. He's been hard at work, but he's driven incredibly well. And so an eventful start to the race, then a couple of cars with issues. It brought out the safety cars that mixed things up a bit. There'll be a bit of talk down in the pits, I'd say. Those that pitted early and then had the safety car may have made the wrong call and it might have gone against them. So that mixed things up. It's going to be interesting to see how they go by class. What I can see is obviously Marco, the D class, and Jordan Mickles in the B class. Bruce Davidson taking out the C class, and then down to Andrew Gibson and Paul Booth would be very happy to have taken the A class. They had to put a new gearbox in that car overnight. Had all sorts of issues. So yeah, great race. So we'll be heading off for some lunch shortly. We'll have a few interviews with the first, second and third here. We've got Adams down there waiting, and then we'll have a bit of lunch, and then it won't be long before the 3 hours ready to go. So 3 Porsches across the front of the podium there. What do we got? The weather still says 16 degrees. I get a feeling it's a bit warmer than that though. There's a drive-through penalty during the race at 47 minutes for car 8111. Don't know what they'd been up to. Who was that? It was Roger Nees in the Ford Falcon. Don't know why that was the case. Might have been speeding in pit lane or right, so we're just about ready to go down to Adam. He's got the winner with him, Marco Schelp. He interviewed him before the race, and we're just about ready to go and cut. We've got a couple of technical issues. We're going to sort those out. Okay, so we've got a technical issue, but Adam's down there. We're just going to sort that out. Won't take a moment, and we'll be back down there. So the guys will be jumping out of the car. They'll be feeling hot. They'll be feeling hot because of it gets hot in the car. Even if it is only 16 degrees, you've got all that engine heat and not much air coming in. So those guys will have a bit of a sweat up. They'll be looking forward to that champagne. Still working on the technical issues. So this is certainly mixed the points up as far as the 1 hour series is concerned. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to push it all down into the third round. Timaru's going to be critical. So yeah, we've still got audio issues in pit lane. So going to try. We've got people running around trying to get that sorted now. But as you can see, this is part of the camaraderie. So after the race, they get them all to stop on the grid, because the guys are then, instead of going into your pit box and you just get carried away, is they all get out and they can see their mates that they've been racing with. They go and congratulate them, and there's a whole lot of chat that goes on about, good race, mate, and thanks for letting me pass there, for the slower guys and things like that. So so it's all an important part of this very social racing that we've got going on here. So we've still got audio issues, unfortunately. We're getting ready to spray the champagne. So right, here they are. Here's your first, second and third. They've got the champagne out. You don't want to be standing anywhere near. There's Marco on the left. Yeah. And here we go. We've got. I just the you can just imagine what this stuff's like down your race suit. If it's not hot enough already, all the cameramen there. Of course, we got the two Derek. Oh, there we go, Marco. Welcome back to New Zealand. So under COVID rules, you had to spray from 2 metres, but we're level 1 now, so you can get stuck into it. There we go, first, second, and third in the 1 hour. Congratulations to those guys. They'll be yeah. It'll the first swig doesn't taste like anything. It's just to try and lubricate the throat, and then after that, it's you might get a wee taste of the champagne. So there's the winning car, that little Porsche, and the poor tech guys are
222
racing around like crazy. It'd be good to get some interviews. We will get to them at some point. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
we're
guys,
sorted.
we're
going to cross to Adam. He's got Marco with him.
So sorry, we had an audio dropout, but we've got the 1, 2, and 3 here all together. So
he's not. He's fourth.
Oh, he's fourth. Okay, let's get the third position in here too. Okay, guys, we'll do it all together. Marco, great race. I mean, your first race back in New Zealand from coming back from Germany. Yeah. Awesome result.
Yeah, awesome. After a year not racing, it's just yeah. 8 months in Germany was hard. Only go-karting, no cars, too expensive. Here it's so much easier, and it's laid back racing. It's good. I love it.
Great. So we'll see you for the Timaru round.
Oh yes, I come to Timaru for sure, and Highlands.
Great. All right. Well, good luck for the next two, and we'll get our second place getters, guys. The pit stop made it, right?
Oh, it's a pretty slick pit stop. Pretty happy with that. Went like clockwork, and yeah, Ben did well to bring it home.
So you jumped from second to fifth from fifth to second in the pit stop, yeah?
Yeah, we did. It was all thanks to our team. They put in a lot of effort, and yeah, we just went like clockwork. It's got to pay off sometime.
It's great to see a father and son team come out and go racing and have a bit of fun on a weekend, yeah?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. You know, you can't get much better than this. It's great, and Ben's improving every meeting we do. He's improving, and yeah, she beat me yesterday and did a good qualifying, and we're 6 on the grid, and yeah, worked our way through the field. So we're wrapped with the result. Awesome.
So I always thought you were brothers.
Yeah, see that. I don't mind that.
All right, so we'll see you guys at round 3. I mean, you've done well, 2 second places, so...
Yep, we did a, what was it, third in Tirotonga and second. So, yep, we're looking forward to it. Bring it on.
All right, we'll see you at the next one. So, here we are again.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm very well. Nice to be here in the sunshine.
And at level 1, so we can have spectators and everyone's here and a beautiful turnout of cars.
Exactly. And you've got no idea how happy I am. I've been racing my brother today, and I'm a younger brother, so you've got no idea how nice it is to beat the older brother.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And you didn't have it all your own way out there. I mean, it was a pretty tough race for you.
It was, yeah. There was some fast cars. The Derricks give us a lot of competition, so there was one very dodgy pass at the end of the straight there that he got me on, and I thought, well, I'll brake and let him through. So, no, it's great racing, great clean racing.
So you've had a couple of good results. We're going to see you for the final Timaru in a couple of weeks.
Indeed, yeah, no, going well. Twice on the podium, I can't believe it.
And your car is a 991.1.
Yeah, so it's 3.8, 465 horsepower or something. So, in the Mitre 10 Mega colours.
And of course, Porsche.
Exactly. Those Germans, they know how to do it well, don't they?
All right. So that's the first, second, and third place for the Carter's Tyre Service South Island Endurance Series. Round 2 here at Ruapuna. Everything's looking beautiful for the trio. So what we're going to do now is we'll cut the stream on the YouTube channel. So we have a lunch break, and we will also then go through. We'll keep the stream running on Facebook. So through the lunch break, and you'll be able to come back at 1:15. We're going to have the 3-hour race come out, but we'll start about 1 o'clock. So we have a bit of a build up to that 1:15 start. So we'll see you guys after lunch, and we'll be into that 3-hour race, which is going to be an awesome afternoon of racing. See you then.